What is up, everyone? Welcome to your WWE Hall of Fame 2025 watch along, and I have missed you guys. My God, it's been a long time. I was just right before we went live here, I pulled up my calendar, and I'm like, I gotta see and gotta check at the last time that I came up at live and saw you guys. And as I was looking through, I cannot believe how long it's been. Can you believe it's been 40 minutes since the last time I was up here doing a live stream? I am blown away. Sorry that it took me so long to come see you guys again. I hope you've been well. If any of you have had birthdays, happy birthday. We are here to watch the 2025 Hall of Fame ceremony. I didn't catch the name of this venue, but it is not attached to SmackDown this year, which is awesome. A lot of options when you're in Vegas. So they have this Hall of Fame set up the way a Hall of Fame should look. It looks like there's a stage, and a theater kind of set up here as Paul Heyman is doing a red carpet interview and staring down Rosenberg in a very hilarious way. So I've been watching a lot of this pre-show stuff, and now it's pretty much time for the Hall of Fame to begin. It looks like they are condensing the Hall of Fames down because there are only, 4 inductees? Triple H, Luger, the Natural Disasters, and Michelle McCool, and then they have the match. So it feels like a small class. I don't know how many wrestlers they've been doing in recent years, but some of those classes had like a bunch, you know? So anyway, we are on Peacock, by the way, watching the Hall of Fame. So if you want to stay up late with us. I don't think Jey Uso was drunk. I think Jey Uso was high. I just think he was high. That's all. You know, he had the glasses on. He probably had very, very bloodshot eyes. I think that Jey knows better than to get slammered. You don't want to be hung over for your WrestleMania title match. So I think he'd probably just a little bit of the green gimmick. Nothing wrong with that. I would advise all talents to do that, especially on such a busy, hectic weekend like this. You should be a little bit stoned. So I think that's all Jay's problem was. Curious to see what kind of a late night watch along. I tried to toy with doing something with the lights and making it darker in here, but I don't have a good enough camera for that. It kind of made the video a little grainy looking, so I didn't want to dim the lights at all, but it's a cozy night here in the Good Mike Podcastle. Oh, shit. Tito, my bad. I might have to feed. It's Tito's dinner time, and I forgot to feed him, so I'll feed him here in a minute during the first speech. Tito eats at noon, and he eats at like 10 p.m. Those are his 2 eating times. He's used to that. All right, we're getting a big John Cena Cody video package here. Making sure I'm still on the Hall of Fame here. Let me hit the live button. Cool. I still have not made my WrestleMania overlays for tomorrow. I got to stay up late and do that tonight after I have some dinner. But this is probably going to end at like 12:30. I'm going to have to eat dinner at 12:30 or midnight. I'm assuming this is going to be 2 hours to 2.5. It looks like it's set for 2.5. Looks like a 2.5 hour show is what they're going to give us here. It's like a half an hour. It's like a half an hour for each inductee. And Triple H is so funny. He's like so busy. He's supposed to be running this. Like, is he going to take a picture with himself? Are they going to get that creepy ass statue that they had floating around and he's going to point to it? Who gives Triple H his ring? It's crazy to see Dory Funk Jr. there. That's wild, man. Not drinking any beer tonight, just a nice little Fresca. It's all about no sugar up in here. What does it take to be a WWE Hall of Famer? What does it take to be a WWE Hall of Famer? But just be on the roster. That's pretty much all your qualifications are. Eventually, they'll get to you. Win a couple of matches. A belt might help. Overall, criteria is not much. Criteria is pretty much getting signed and sticking around for a significant amount of time. That's it. The proof of that is Michelle McCool. I do not believe Michelle McCool is a Hall of Famer. She's a living proof that if that just means anybody can be a Hall of Famer. She didn't do shit. So if you are on the East Coast right now, this is live at 1 a.m. That's bonkers. I could still do it because I'll be up until 4 a.m. tonight anyway. I'll be up for the next 6 hours, but like shit, man. It's not even like everything's so crammed in, you know? That putting WrestleMania at 2 days really fucked up their ability to do this type of stuff on Saturdays. I can't believe they just signed Demolition to Legends deals and then they put Natural Disasters in. I don't think Triple H ever fought a disaster. I don't think a Triple H and Earthquake or Typhoon match exists. Dustin, no, I did not go to the Hall of Fame when I went to WrestleMania. I actually hosted a fan meetup right across the street from the Hall of Fame. So we were all hanging out there at the bar and we were watching the Hall of Fame on our phones. Oh, look, they just happen to be celebrating a big win. It does look like a sweet-ass hotel. Vegas is 36 restaurants in this hotel. Holy shit. Yeah, Vegas is very lavish. I've been a few times. That's a cool... So this place is in a hotel. That's such a cool... It looks like a pretty small setup. Like, this is how the Slammy should be, too. Oh, these two yahoos, of course. Fucking butt buddies. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Michael Cole was such a dick to him like a whole bunch of WrestleManias ago. Then they made up, and now Cole's been up his ass ever since. Look at Cody. Who's that kid next to them? Who's got the child? Where's their child? What do they do with the child? Oh, they're still filing in. A lot of people working SmackDown, just getting there. This is live, guys. Live.
Celebrating the icons who put this business on their back and trailblazed their way to make this company to be at the place where it is today. Multi-billion-dollar deals. The whole world.
It's kind of a new intro to the Hall of Fame. We got dueling hosts here. I believe for the first time since Jesse and Mean Gene in '87.
To watch the old WWF on WOR Channel 9 in New York. Fast forward to 1985, freshman
Foley.
University. I bought a ticket, wandered down the street to the Landmark Theater, and watched this event on closed circuit called WrestleMania. 12 years later,
nobody cares, Michael Cole.
I began my now 28-year.
The crowd is still getting settled. All the wrestlers, every time they keep cutting to the wrestlers, nobody's paying attention. They're all fucking with their shit, trying to sit down, getting situated.
At least I had one, right? But the biggest thrill of my entire career has been able to sit behind that desk and provide the soundtrack.
I remember at one Slammy Awards, they
in matches throughout your career. And I am honored and humbled to be able to do that.
They had like Vince and Jerry Lawler do like commentary during it.
To the Logan Pauls and what he is accomplishing.
No.
He thought he
No, Logan is there. Logan at the Hall of Fame.
To Tiffany Stratton, the world champion, Gunther. Yeah, even Dirty Dom.
Even Dirty Dom. Right on, Stephen Taylor. It's 6 a.m. in the UK. You guys are up early.
To host this ceremony for the very first time, we jumped at the chance because tonight.
I honestly don't remember the call letters of the channel I would have watched wrestling on. Actually, I do in the late 80s, like when I was after age 10, but not before age 10. I don't remember.
Built this company that all of us love, but much like your story, when I was a kid, I went down to the neighbor's house who had a black box, and we stole the pay-per-views. And since then,
Oh, yeah. Black boxes were awesome. We stole the pay-per-views. I love that, Pat. We stole the pay-per-views. I did a little bootlegging in my life as well. I made like 20 G's off eBay in like 2005 selling episodes of Raw and Nitro. Just on discs, $5 an episode. Fucking hand over fist. WWE found out, shut me down. But I bought a car with it. I was like, I was recording that shit every week. Nobody else was, so I put them on eBay, these episodes, and it was amazing. So we're getting Lex to open. Yeah, it was like a Hall of Fame TED Talk. And so we're going to get DDP doing Luger's induction, which is nice. Would have been nice. Well, there's Sting right there. If we could have just had Sting do it, would have been cool. But doesn't sound like any attempts were really made to make it happen. Doesn't sound like anybody had a chance to be petty. It just sounds like it just didn't come together.
Mixed with the guidance of one of the most experienced factions in sports entertainment.
Be interesting to see if Luger, walks out here. I mean, he's got to make a speech, too, so he's got to be whatever he's comfortable with. Wow. Hey, was that clip of Mr. Hughes without his glasses? I don't think I've ever seen him without his glasses.
To get a peek at those pecs.
A peek at those pecs. Narcissus. Narcissist. What is it with the narcissist?
That set the wheels in motion for one of the most memorable stunts in history. A cross-country tour of America.
The Lex Express. He was the first guy to have a bus. Anybody else have a bus before Lex? It's gotta suck to have all that shit over the bus. I'd want my bus to be a little bit more incognito.
Confronting this 500-plus pound world champion that no mortal man could slam.
Yokozuna could not be slammed. Lex Luger slammed him on one of our warships. Lex Luger was America that day.
On one of our warships.
The total package sent shot.
And 2 years later, here he is.
Transferring back to familiar turf.
Lex Luger was instrumental to the success of Nitro.
Leading to one of the biggest moments in WCW history.
Yeah, I feel like the NWO kind of had three big challengers. Luger was one, Sting was one, Goldberg was one. They all took down Hogan.
An emphatic statement in an outstanding career.
Lex has covered every aspect.
I remember that Michael Jordan magazine. WWE was so proud of that. God, they wouldn't shut up about it.
Lex Luger.
On behalf of WWE, we would like you to be part of the 2025 class of the WWE Hall of Fame.
Wow. You gotta stand up, Jimbo.
Wow, look at how small Luger's arms are. Holy shit. Like, he is full-blown. He's got a way less than me.
Ladies and gentlemen, now here to induct Mr. Luger into the Hall of Fame is a three-time WCW World Champion and a man who has changed countless lives around the world with his DDP yoga, including Lex Luger's life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Hall of Famer, Diamond Dallas Page.
Yo, it's me. It's me. It's DDP.
Shitty music. At least get his dust off his WCW theme. My God, this horrible theme. Oh my God, such a bad theme. Oh, it's terrible. Turn it off. Hey, there's Becky Lynch behind Cody and Brandy there. You got a Becky Lynch sighting. Oh, Nash is there? I didn't catch him.
Good evening, everyone. It is me. It is DDP. I can't even begin to tell you how honored I am to have been asked for a second time to induct another one of our brothers.
Who did he induct before? Oh, Scott Hall, maybe? No, he didn't induct Scott Hall. Who did DDP induct before?
Tonight, we're not just here to celebrate the impact that Lex Luger had on our business, because believe me, that alone would be enough. Tonight, we're also here to honor a transformation, a rebirth. The story of a man who lost everything the world told them mattered, and yet somehow came out on the other end stronger. When Lawrence Fole came into this world, it seemed like God.
Yeah, that's his name, isn't it? Lawrence Fole?
Every gift in the book. He was handsome.
Jake, thank you.
He was strong. And he was fast. At 270 pounds, Lex was running a 4.640. Whether he was on the gridiron with the Miami Hurricanes or in the pros in the CFL, USFL, or the NFL, Lex has always been regarded as a physical specimen, even among giants. So when he stepped in the ring in 1985, you knew Lex Luger was going to be money. By 1987, he joined forces with a legendary four horsemen, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. From the NWA to WCW to the WWE, Lex carved.
I'm curious what theme Lex is going to come out here to when they bring him out.
Narcissist. Let's just say Lex never saw a man in life. But he wasn't just looks.
Good shot of the crowd there.
The 568-pound Yokozuna seemed untouchable. You just watched it right there on the screen. Enter the Lex Express, a nationwide tour that rallied fans from coast to coast, and Lex was getting better known than butter and toast. All ending on the USS Intrepid, where Lex snatched the big guy and body slammed him in the middle. Fast forward, September 4th, 1995, at the Mall of America, a night that would change the world of professional wrestling forever. Now, I believe that Lex was supposed to be on Raw that night.
No, he wasn't.
Ooh. But he no-showed. Why?
No, he didn't.
Well,
Paige is wrong about this.
because he's a disruptor. And he
I also think that Nitro might have ran unopposed on week one.
Monday Night Nitro,
I think.
and my friends, that was the first
Or Raw was taped, one or the other. Either way, Lex wasn't scheduled for Raw.
professional wrestling known as the Monday Night Wars. During his career, Lex made waves and created memories. But for all the legends that he faced in the ring, nothing compared to to the battle he faced outside of it. In the 90s, we lived like rock stars. It was a lifestyle that could chew you up and spit you out.
I don't know how deep Paige is going to get here on some of these problems.
Destroyed them. And as the story is told, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. As crazy as it sounds, I was there that fateful night that Lex became a quadriplegic. I hadn't seen Lex in over 5 years. But on that day, God put me in that room. I had no idea.
Yeah, he might have been thinking more about Rude. Yeah.
I helped the EMT.
Wow, that's so cool.
Him.
Looking at everybody.
Lex had lost his physical gifts from God. It's a story that's more
Tori Wilson?
complex than any wrestling act.
Bischoff, Nash.
The amazing thing is, if you ever get a chance to talk to Lex about it, he'll tell you it's not a tragedy. You see, Lex realized that real strength isn't something you show in the spotlight. Real strength is something you build in the shadows. You see, Lex just didn't survive that fall. He let go of his ego and surrendered to something much bigger.
Is Paige his
Purpose and pain,
WrestleMania 18 opponent? No, just Smitty. I don't know what that means.
despair,
I don't think you can be another person.
regret. Lex realized in a world that can often seem so divided, if we could just focus on building each other up instead of tearing each other down, our impact will echo far beyond our time. If anything, it shows us that even in our darkest hour, there is always hope. So let tonight stand as proof that there is always hope. Tonight, we honor the legend of Lex Luger. But more importantly,
Hurricane sitting next to Scarlett and Cross. I'm more interested in the crowd.
Lawrence Bowl has become. Tonight I present to you the very first inductee to the class.
All right, let's see if Luger walks or not.
One of the most humble human beings
And if he doesn't, that's okay.
known. He is my friend. He is my mentor. He is the prodigal son. Ladies
He's a prodigal son, too. He's a lot of things.
welcome,
Is he the total package?
WWE Hall of Famer, the total package, Lex Luger.
All right. Yeah, they're playing his song, I think. Yeah. I never thought I would ever hear this theme again in WWE. No, he is. He might stand. Is that his son? He just told DDP he's got it. He's like, I got it, motherfucker. It's crazy to hear that song again. I never liked it, but I like the mashup with Davies better as the Allied Powers.
Now the best part is, please be seated.
Please be seated.
Called audible last minute. I took a bump in my Uber car into my wheelchair at the Atlanta airport yesterday. We had a longer walk planned, didn't we?
Oh,
But I'm standing for this.
good for you. Sounds like he had a little mishap
Hallelujah.
getting out of his Uber, he said, and he was maybe going to be walking to the stage, but he couldn't. But he's standing.
Man, what a journey. What a roller coaster ride.
I was wondering if he was going to stand, how he would
To the jailhouse,
do his speech, because he's got to
out of a hotel.
prop himself.
Man, what a journey. If you'd asked me 20 years ago, I'd be standing on this stage when WWE Hall of Fame, I would say, you're out of your mind.
I just hope he stays on his feet. I'm glad that they're there, his son and DDP, in case.
It was radioactive, that never have anything to do with the
Kevin Owens. Good to see him. There's AJ.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
It's okay, Lex. You don't have to sing the whole song.
I'd like to thank all my friends.
But I'm very happy for him.
This guy is something else, man. He is relentless. So,
Relentless.
all my friends out there who have hung with me and supported me and been with me, even when I was unlovable, I want to thank them. I want to thank my family who's always been with me. I want to thank that jail chaplain I met, Pastor Steve, who led me to the Lord on April 23rd of 06.
Of 06. That's kind of when he had his like awakening. Jimmy Hart's there. X-Pac.
A little story about I want to thank the fans. When I got out of jail, thankfully the last time, Pastor Steve always pulled into the Walmart parking lot. I always asked people to come in.
I never was a fan of Lex, but I would really
And so
admire how he
time after time,
kind of handled the last 20 years.
how come you won't come into Walmart with me? I go,
He's just
"The old guy
straightened himself out, you know.
said, man, Pastor Steve, I don't do Walmart. I shop like Saks Fifth Avenue and all that stuff. So finally, just to satisfy, I went in, and I was a guy who wrestled, but didn't really grow up watching wrestling. So I was a wrestler who didn't really, I didn't get the fans. I thought they're like, I thought you were out of your minds.
It's another thing that's interesting here is I don't think fans are let in for this. You couldn't buy tickets to this. I don't even think those upper levels of that theater are sat.
In that wall
I think it's just the talent and family.
for the first time in my life, and it's a time when I felt unlovable in my life. I didn't care. I was living out of a hotel,
There's no way they could have sold tickets to this. There's not enough.
cleaning out dog cages and cat cages, and
Haku's there too. I didn't see Haku.
I woke up the next day, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it down, but man, I had pretty much given up hope. And you, the fans, in that Walmart, finally Pastor Steve said, "You want to come in?" I go, "All right, I'll go into Walmart." The love and commotion and just that the fans showed me in that Walmart was absolutely amazing. It gave me hope. It gave me a life.
There's Chris Van Vliet right there.
Wrestling fans. Now I've gone full circle. I've gone from a wrestler who wasn't a fan to I'm a big wrestling fan now. The things that
Looks like some fans might be there.
generation you guys are doing is absolutely mind
3,000? Okay.
athleticism, and where WWE's gone as a company is just it's a global phenomenon. I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm glad to be up here. I mean, my family, I want to thank them. They've always been with me no matter what. I'm so thankful for them. Pastor Steve, who welcomed me to the foot of the cross in a hotel room April 23rd of 06. Thank you, Steve. He was there when I got for my salvation. He was there for my ordination. He was there for my recent marriage. So the trifecta. So
I'm not a religious person, never will be, but I'm really glad that it's there and it exists for people like Lex who
beautiful wife Robin.
need that or use that as their motivation to fix their lives, and it fucking works in a lot of cases.
Most of all, I talked a little bit about Cody when he dropped the bombshell on me at Dee's house. My mom was very low key about my wrestling career, and every year she said I got the joy of taking care of her last 7 years of her life. She passed recently, and my mom always would say, "Do you think they're ever going to put you in that Hall of Fame?" I don't know, Mom. Maybe someday. So, Mom, I hope guys give you glimpses from now. We made it, Mom.
Good for Lex.
And I'll see you there. We can celebrate together.
Great Muda.
When I get there. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Do you not thank your son who came out there to help you out? All right. It's official. Lex Luger is in the Hall of Fame. Good for him. Triple H putting the, I guess that's his kids. He's got a good looking son, and I guess that's his daughter. She's pretty too.
Ladies and gentlemen, again tonight, main event of the Hall of Fame, a man that has meant a lot to Pat and I and also to all of us in this room. Triple H will be inducted
into the Hall of Fame. An absolute legend, obviously, goes by a lot of names. You know, he's the cerebral assassin, the king of kings. Some of us call him...
No, Mike Lex didn't really go through a whole bunch of thinking. He didn't. I mean, he thanked some people, obviously, but it wasn't like a 30-minute speech where he's going to thank every person he worked with. It wasn't like that.
As Triple H in the past. We're going to go to the administrator, please, to showcase this man showing a little respect to Triple H now.
Okay, I was just assuming that dude was his son. I guess he only has daughters, Dean says. Oh, look at this. Oh, what's happening here? I forgot Michael Cole did this. Well, this is going to give me nightmares. How the fuck am I supposed to sleep before WrestleMania when I have this image burned into my retina?
You stop right there. Bang! Those tights. Ain't never had a situation go like that. Right there.
Ah.
Never.
Make it. Can you guys turn it off?
Too bad there.
Tell me when it's over.
What to do out of your mouth is gonna embarrass
Nope, Michael Cole's still there.
you forever.
Shirtless Michael Cole's still there.
To spray. Play that thing.
Uh-uh.
You're spitting all over yourself. An oral cream pie to your face.
An oral cream pie to your face.
On your neck.
What's going on with the tattoos?
That this is the first time they're being seen.
He looks like a more douchier Michael Scott.
One kid upset. Two kids upset. Dad, put a shirt on.
Yeah,
Look like an...
I agree with Michael Cole's kids.
He said, don't you worry about it, kids. It's only going to get worse. You know, all these
I'm glad that we're just roasting Cole here.
with ease. Not your dad. I'm going to break my hip and my back. Get my back.
Worse than Freddy Cougar. I'll be right back.
That's what it's supposed to look like. Right there. Easy comparison with this thing going on. Your little baby cheeks and your little baby tights would go on to squirt all over your face yet again. Play. And everybody in this arena will remember the evening that they were terrorized by a guy ordering. Pause.
Ugh.
Look at that flavor saver you used to have.
Ew, the flavor saver. Don't remind me about the flavor saver, Pat. God, bro.
We'd love to pay tribute to Triple H because he's a legend, and even though it might be disrespectful, that was in honor of him.
Like, I'm pretty sure that Michael Cole's flavor saver had been deleted. It was gone from my brain.
Everybody thinks, oh, this guy is the next Triple H.
It has been recycled from the trash.
We cannot.
Thanks to Pat McAfee.
Bailey, what are you laughing at?
Paul Heyman, you look a little lonely out here, bro. You there?
Yeah, how's everything going with the tribal chief?
Yeah, well, just kind of all by himself down here, sticking out like a sore thumb. Big weekend for you, Paul.
Cody, great interview tonight with Cena as well.
Why are they showing this shit?
Hey, tonight we are also going to honor those who paved the way for us, obviously, throughout this wonderful genre that we all work in, who made an incredible mark on everyone in the history of the business.
That's right, and we have the Legacy Award.
Oh, time for the legacies.
We have our first recipient, and I'm going to be honest, this man scared the absolute hell out of me.
Kamala, a superstar with an immense presence. The Ugandan giant spoke with potent force. 6'7".
He should be getting his own induction. Legacy's kind of weak.
How about the way Kamala competed?
I mean, you think big and you think strong. I remember it was like, oh, big fella.
Very high threshold of pain, a very unorthodox man, a very dangerous individual indeed.
Terrifying, unpredictable, daunting. Kamala was unique.
I do.
Awesome, it just worked.
The Kamala belly slap. I still do it.
He is vicious and so far nobody's even come anywhere near and give him any kind of competition.
An unsettling sight for opponents.
He was scary as shit to me as a kid,
Anything like him.
especially as a opponent for Hogan.
Behind all the body pain lay the heart of a warrior. And now Kamala is immortalized, a member of the 2025 legacy class of the WWE Hall of Fame.
Should have been in the regular class. Who's this? See, he's got family.
First, welcome Kamala's wife, Jean Harris, who is here tonight.
I hope you at least flew them all in. Kevin Owens is showing respect. Look at this music they have for him. It's not even the Kamala music.
It seems like just yesterday.
Kamala's music was kind of funny.
In WWE, a 3-sport star, and she was actually a school teacher in Florida and part of the inaugural Diva Search.
Not only part of the inaugural Diva Search, she's the first ever
I don't think they could play the original Kamala theme. I think it might
women's champion.
be considered a little racist, so maybe they can't. Look at these two.
Tag team wrestler with the team.
The Bellas are there.
Indeed, let's take a look at our next inductee.
Oh, God. Is it Michelle McCool's time? Yeah. Oh, God. Who gives a shit? I'm usually not mean. I usually don't just shit on people for no reason. I just don't care about this induction at all. I suppose that Divas era has its fans. I'm just not one of them. Women's wrestling was in the fucking toilet during all these years. And you were hired for looks and nothing else. And some of them, like Michelle, had athleticism to her. Trish turned out to be a great worker, despite being hired as a model. But still, wrestling was not the focus. Being hot was the focus. And matches lasted 1 minute, 2 minutes max. WWE did not take this division seriously. But they loved dressing these women up in sexy outfits and having them put fucking soap all over their titties and rubbing them on limousines and stuff. That's fine. It was fine for most of the fans, too. I mean, I wasn't complaining. But
Michelle was a mild-mannered middle school teacher.
I don't want to remember that era. It sucked.
Accepted a friend's dare to enter the 2000
She won a fucking contest. It's like, I want to be a diva. You do.
But it's something I've always wanted to do and just did it finally.
She was hot back then. My God.
Talk about a crash course. Michelle went from hitting the books to hitting the ropes. And it wasn't long until the former teacher was schooling opponents.
I think Michelle McCool could be the best all-round athlete in
Like this highlight package, she's not bad. It's just, I don't consider her a legend. What was her run? How long was it?
No surprise she graduated with honors.
Edie.
That's the same spot Michelle's tag team claimed.
We all make cool. That's a good point.
Oh, did they both hold the, I was about to say, there was no tag titles. Did they both hold the women's title as like co-champions or some stupid shit? Yeah, I guess so.
Then another partner came along. The Undertaker. A marriage made in heaven and hell.
By no means did I want to meet him in person or in a dark alley. Or never in a million years thought I would marry the guy.
She's truly been a blessing. I don't really know where I would be without her.
Just reach in here. All I have to do is pull.
And isn't it appropriate that Michelle has become a teacher once again?
Watch this.
Yeah, they put her on this, they booted off Mickey James in favor of Michelle McCool because Undertaker, that's what Undertaker wanted. Fuck these people. She's not a trailblazer, Booker T. What trail did she blaze? Show me one trail. See that trail over there, Greg? Michelle blazed that. No, that trail does not exist. There's no such thing as a Michelle McCool blazed trail. Let's not be silly here.
Into the 2025 class of the
She's a trailblazer. Ugh. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, here now to induct Michelle McCool. And
Oh, Undertaker's got to tell little anecdotes about his
is a fellow
wife.
Hall of Famer.
A fellow member of her household.
It's her husband.
A fellow member of her household.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Undertaker.
We're going to get the song? Maybe not. Maybe he'll just walk out. Nope. There's the gong. We got to get an Undertaker entrance at the Hall of Fame. It'd be funny if he came out rolling on a motorbike. I rolled off the stage and fell. Oh my God. I'd die. All right. Shout out to anyone hanging out on the East Coast. 137. Look at Undertaker. He looks like the villain in, like, I don't know, some action movie. Like the last guy Denzel would kill in Equalizer, you know, somebody like that.
It's Vegas. It's Friday night. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
A good time, not a long time.
Thank you. It's always nice to be back in front of the WWE Universe.
So weird seeing him as a person.
That's you guys. That's you.
Undertaker, you kind of look like Snitsky a little bit.
But tonight, I'm not here as the Phenom. I'm not here as the dead man. No, I'm not.
One more match.
Tonight, I'm
I got some super chats to answer. I'll hit those, Mike.
or a mark before you even say it. I'm a husband
Got some fucking high ceilings in that place. There's Linda. Oh, God. We're showing her?
and a man who gets to honor one of the
Fuck
greatest
Linda.
people that I've ever known in life and in this business. Michelle didn't walk into the WWE with a famous last name or a promise. She came here
Natalia.
with her
Hi.
boots on and something to prove. She didn't ask for anything, but she went out and earned everything. Man, I'm going to.
Just please induct your wife already.
She was so strong-headed.
I want to know how she reacts to your farts. That's what I want to know. Give us something meaningful here.
Now you know she chased me for
Like, are you on your final fart? Like one more, she's ending the marriage, or is she cool with?
finally wore me down.
Who was that? That looked like Sarah Palin just then. What the fuck was that?
That's my story. Anyway, she says to me, "You will never speak on my behalf." I'm like, okay. And she meant it. And I have to admit, I was a little taken back. So, not knowing really what to say, I clapped back. Well, when I do speak, you better listen. That's right.
Oh, that was Layla.
3 months
That was Sarah Palin.
before
I don't know. Maybe my eyes. Something's wrong.
she was the first Divas champion,
They did put Heyman next to Rollins. Interesting.
both the women's title and the Divas championship. She was one half of the iconic Team Lay Cool.
The iconic Lay Cool. I don't even remember Lay Cool. I remember nothing they did,
To be fearless,
except for what I saw in the video package. Apparently, they both had a belt for some reason. I don't know why. Probably a stupid reason.
Mean Girls, they made that cool too. She was a pioneer before the women's evolution had a name.
She was not a pioneer.
She carried the weight of expectations, of disrespect, of people calling her just another pretty face. And she flipped it on them. Every time
She didn't flip it on 'em.
between those ropes. But the most
She held her own.
amazing
I'll give her that.
thing
But that's about it. As far as it goes for me.
it's not the titles,
Pioneer, trailblazer.
promo gear, the Uggs.
Tito, you're a pioneer. You're a trailblazer, bro. All them other cats,
Matches.
you wouldn't be here if it weren't for Tito.
It's who she is when the camera isn't rolling. First and foremost, she's a woman of faith.
Yeah, I know.
She's a mother who leads with love.
She's a woman of faith. She's a mother that leads with love, means she's a mother that tells her kids what they're going to believe too. Here, kids, here's what you believe. This is God. This is the church you're going to go to. You believe this.
Get off the map.
That's what they're doing to their kids. And then they're yelling at the left about indoctrination.
Made me a better man, a better father, and a better person.
Io Sky with Nakamura and Tori Bischoff and his wife are down there, I think.
Top of her game. To be something even more important to her. A mother. But even in her time away, her fingerprints are still all over.
We taught our kids how to shoot a gun when they were in the womb. Because that's when you got to learn that.
A whole lot of women would not have gotten the opportunities that they thrive on now. And we all know
I disagree.
is smashing it.
I think the business would be the exact same without her. Nothing would be different.
So tonight I get to do something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. Babe, you're more than a Hall of Famer. You're a legend. You're my best friend. And you are, without question, the toughest,
See, all jokes aside, I'm happy that he gets to induct his wife, you know?
fiercest woman I have ever known.
Like, that's got to be kind of cool.
So,
We haven't had a spouse induct a spouse yet, have we?
please join me
We might
in
have.
welcoming
We might have.
the pride of Palatka, Florida,
The pride of Palatka.
my wife, and your newest member of the WWE Hall of Fame, Michelle McCool.
If she comes out in a handspring elbow, I'll pop. Oh, this is her music? Ugh. I hated the theme songs of this era. This is like up there with Stephanie McMahon's theme. I'm all grown up. Shut up. Look at these two. Michelle, look at the outfit she's rocking. Oh, can you turn this song off? God, before I have a heart attack. Thank you.
He told a few lies. I might have to switch things up. It is wild to me how some of the biggest moments just sneak up on you. No music, no build up, no heads up, just boom. There it is. And for me, it takes me back to one particular moment. It's 2004. I'm in the backseat of my parents' car. It feels like just another normal afternoon. And then my phone rings. It's a 203 area code. Connecticut. WWE headquarters. My pulse kicks into overdrive. My heart is racing. And yet, I let it go to voicemail. Instantly, I flash back to college, holding a tough enough application I'd carefully filled out, stared at for weeks, and then tossed in the trash.
Tough enough.
I was scared. Not of the work, not of the dream. I was scared of failing.
And then the Diva search came along.
It wasn't just entertainment in our house. It was sacred. It was family. It was bonding with my dad and Pat. It was yelling at the TV and staying up late on Monday nights. Wrestling was serious business in the McCool household.
Well, at least you were a fan. I'm glad to hear that she was a fan and she just didn't stumble into that
Called the Diva Search.
Diva search because she's hot.
I figure,
Are you hot? Come here. Maybe we'll put you on TV.
take some photos, send in the paperwork. I don't tell a soul, and I wait.
I like that she's rocking the Jericho
No one knows.
ponytail.
No one will know if I fell. Fast forward to that day in the back seat. My nerves are shot. I press play, and I hear, Michelle, we loved your photos, and we want to see you in New York City for the Diva Search. In shock, I start giggling uncontrollably. My parents turn around, puzzled smiles on their faces, wondering, what is going on?
At my age, to hear a Hall of Famer talk about, to hear this particular story is how you got into the business is just weird.
Because at that
There were all these contests, and I kept throwing the flyers away, and then I decided to go to one, and then they called me, and
clicks.
instead of, we set up a ring in the woods and learned how to work when we were 6. This is a little different.
Not just good enough, not just tough enough, but enough, just as I am. This may be my story tonight, but it's your story too. You are enough. Period.
Yeah, Shayna. Shayna's like, mm-hmm. Oh, God.
My flawless finishes. The first one, literally learned the hard way. It's Thanksgiving, 1985. I'm 5 years old.
No, we're going back to 1985? All right.
Surrounded by my older brother and 3 mischievous.
Natalia killed it at Bloodsport.
They decide a food fight is a good idea. And of course, I'm the innocent bystander. Flawless, remember? Then a dinner roll smacks me square in the face. Chaos erupts, my dad walks in, court is in session. Guess who gets blamed? Me, the baby. I get the look. Y'all know the look? Yeah, the look that says,
I don't think the wrestlers would be. I mean, it's an hour later there than where I am, so it's about to be midnight there. But they're in Vegas. I think all the talent would be up anyway.
so,
And if you're working Sunday,
it's like Papa.
can't be that bad.
And in my sweetest, yet toughest 5-year-old voice, I look him right
I mean, obviously it's a tiring day. They've probably been doing shit all day. Some of them worked on SmackDown and actually got in the ring.
He pops me again. And again, I say, that didn't hurt. By the third pop, slightly upgraded, I finally break. That hurt. I'll tell you what that moment taught me, though.
Oh, Michelle.
From the kitchen to the canvas. Grit doesn't mean you don't feel the pain. It means you keep showing up even when it hurts.
Mike, thanks for that $5. You respect Taker as a legend? Me too. As a person, his complete devotion to Vince, even after the lawsuit, makes me want to vomit. Yep, Taker's not alone. John Cena's right on the bus with him.
And the titles, guys, the titles
I'm sure Brock Lesnar doesn't give a fucking hell about Vince's behavior.
prove you false.
It's not going to affect how he feels about Vince at all.
Importantly, they prove you
Some people are like that. They think men have every right to just be that way, and they just kind of chuckle at it and shrug it off. No, that's just Vince.
never limit your fight. That part is up to you. And once you're back in the fight, that's when the real challenge begins. Because the higher you rise, the louder the noise gets. Which makes me think of another flawless finish. Ignore the noise. Now, I don't know
I think
how
the LA Knight is sitting next to the Bellas. Lucky him.
but things weren't always easy. Honestly, I can't think of a single time they were.
We haven't developed the technology to fast forward live moments, right?
Lay Cool versus Natalia.
We're probably getting there.
Favorite rivalries. At one point, y'all, we were literally told, pull your punches. Too good. What do you even do with that? I'll tell you what I did. I kept my head down. I remained quiet and confident, and I worked harder than ever before. Eventually, we got rewarded with the first ever women's tables match.
The first ever women's tables match. Oh, God. I don't even remember. I didn't even know it existed. No recollection whatsoever.
The noise said, tone it down. But my heart said, fight harder. Because in wrestling and in life, people will always have opinions about who you should be and what you're capable of. But the reality is, what you tolerate is what you validate. And not every voice deserves your attention.
I agree with that. I apply that. Not every voice deserves your attention. No shit. I ignore people all the time.
I was even here in the first place. I might have surrendered. Had I surrendered, I would have missed moments like standing across from an 87-year-old Mae Young, and yes, I was terrified, who looked Laycool dead in the eyes and said, I demand a no disqualification match with these two hussies.
Time is what I'm indicating there.
Brats. Y'all know she didn't say brats, but Hall of Fame speak, so we'll keep it classy. Here's Here's something I tell myself often.
Oh, man.
Especially these past few weeks.
Big Sabu bump.
Don't let the noise around you
God, look how old he looks. Jesus, that looked like it killed him.
because your calling is bigger than their commentary.
The way he was stiff.
My last flawless finish. Failure isn't fatal. I'll be honest, I hate failing. Always have, probably always will. But never wanting to burden anyone with any struggles that I have. Many of you may not know.
Oh, no.
I've dealt with severe kidney and liver disease for over 25 years.
Did not know that.
Returning from an overseas tour, one I don't remember to this day, I call my parents from New York and I simply say, I'm sick. Again. By the time I land at the airport, they're waiting. We go straight to the hospital, and I'm admitted. I don't leave for 16 days. 16 days of hallucinations, 16 days of nobody.
Yeah, Zane, I kind of wish Luger, maybe he needed to be sitting down to make it longer. He could have been longer.
Wasn't alone in that room. See,
His physical situation is different, I guess.
ceiling tile. Matt
But
Hardy's
this is going 10 times longer than Luger's speech. I mean, we're hearing about shit. I mean, at least, here Michelle's talking about her legitimate illness, and that's super serious. But the rest of it's been,
I was literally calling Charmel in the middle of the night asking for my toothbrush. Layla was sneaking Diet Mountain Dew in for me. And apparently, according to my mom, all I talked about nonstop was take her, take her, take her.
take her, take her, take her. How sexy Undertaker
Not
is.
sure I believe that one, but okay, Mom. Back to the hospital. My family is scared. My doctors are stumped. But somewhere in the middle of all that chaos,
I feel like Sonny's speech was a little bit long. Hers, I remember being like not bad, actually, being pretty good, but also kind of a little bit long for what it needed to be.
hospital bed,
I mean, I know Sonny was a trailblazer. I mean, but what are we talking about here? Modeling the T-shirts and stuff? Like, what was she really doing? I mean, she managed a few tag teams
great comeback needs just
for like 9 months.
a fall worth fighting.
She was just the hot chick.
Tonight, I stand here a small town girl from Palaca, Florida, who despite dreaming big would have never imagined
And made her mark for sure, but she talked forever, like she was Bruno. There's JD.
I find it no coincidence that today is Good Friday, the day my Lord and Savior sacrificed it all.
Oh yeah, it's Good Friday, huh?
The sacrifices made inside the ring and all around the world, they will always hold the most special place in my heart. And some of the most meaningful moments, they didn't just happen inside the ring, they happened far beyond it. Standing in war zones on tribute to the troops tours, locking eyes with kids in hospitals where streets takes a different shape. Cheering on Special Olympic athletes who define what it means to fight with joy. Those are the moments that changed me. Because real power isn't found in the spotlight. Legacy isn't a title run or a main event. Y'all, it's how you treat people when there's no spotlight at all.
Good for you, Michelle.
WWE Universe,
Cue that music.
thank you. Through every setback, every evolution, you showed up. Y'all are the reason that
Yeah, since Michelle started talking, I had a birthday.
real talk. I normally ran to the ring because we only had 3 to 4 minutes start to finish, but you get the point.
I liked some of these pictures, though.
You stood by us when the world barely looked our way. So thank you. WWE, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving this small town girl a chance to live out her dream. To my incredible WWE family, Tori Wilson, thank you for your endless friendship and your beautiful soul.
Tori's the best.
No questions asked. I've got your back, even in a Philippines mall. Lisa, thank you
Charmel.
for all the laughs and reminding me to have
I love the Logan Paul hanging out with Charmel. It's awesome.
Thank you for never backing down from the fight.
Natty's the best.
Fit Finley, thank you for being our voice and fighting for us when nobody else did. Kathy Morrell, but more importantly, a friend. Layla, my little yes, my little flawless.
There's Layla.
British best
I legit thought she was Sarah Palin.
into my gang. Who would have
Dory might be sleeping. Dory's probably like, who the hell is this? You don't even know who she is.
I absolutely adore you. And I was thinking we could always rewind, run it back one more time. I don't know what y'all think, but
No, we don't need Lay Cool. Nope, we're good. I'm good. I'm fine. You guys, please don't come out of retirement. We don't need it.
be flawless. Mom and Dad, thank you for
I mean, maybe there's some
an unwavering love.
20-year-old girl that was 7 when that shit was going on that would love to see that, but not me.
My sweet kind of faith. In a world full of noise, be the quiet confidence. Know your worth. Trust your sweet little soul. Dream big, work hard, and fail forward. Keep your heart open to his whispers, lovey, okay? Be unapologetically you because you, baby girl, are more than enough.
And Michelle's baby girl is going to have all the advantages because she's got an extremely rich mama and daddy.
Lights up my world. Never
So
let
if she fails, she really sucks
prove people
because her path is lit.
yourself right.
She will never have to struggle for rent.
I love you the most. The end.
She will never have to struggle to pay the utility bill.
Into the
She will
love
never be hungry.
my dear husband, Mark.
And she will not face the same challenges the rest of the world does.
I've got nothing.
It's
Just kidding. You are an inspiration to so many people, including myself.
like, I got nothing.
And despite the lies you told earlier,
Despite the lies you told earlier.
your persistence,
That's funny.
the way you chased me for so many months,
The way you chase me. That's actually kind of funny. I love that they're ribbing each other.
not taking no for an answer. Impressive. And the way you finally got me to cave and say yes, even more impressive. But seriously, I love you with every ounce of my being, and I thank God every day I get to call you my husband. You are my rock, my protector, my soulmate, my whole heart. I absolutely love you, babe. And for the record,
Ugh.
yes,
Remember when, like,
only my thing
Vince had to come get Backlund?
not enough for me. I came to love that. It sounds just like the world. All the doubt, the noise, the voices that try to
Can we get Ivy Nile come out here and just
I used to.
belly to back her out the back door here?
It reminded me to stand taller, fight harder, and finish stronger. Not just for me, but for every single person who's ever been told they weren't enough. So tonight, I leave you with this challenge.
Yeah, please leave us with something. That would be great.
Grit, don't quit. When the noises around you doubt your strength or worth, ignore the noise. And when setbacks seem overwhelming, remember, failure isn't fatal. Because the girl in the back
Okay, start that music. Dun, 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 dun. Or whatever music they use now. Dun, 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 dun.
something undeniable. No applause, no status, no title will ever define your worth.
Do y'all's temples feel like there's like a nail going into it?
And believing it,
Or is y'all's temples good?
believing it, that changes everything. Thank y'all.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle McCool. Welcome to the hall. I love that. Holy shit. Did you catch that? Bianca Belair, when it was finally over, just shook her head. That's the way I feel. Michelle, I love that. Oh, I love Bianca. Oh, I hope somebody reposts that. Wow. Bianca was not impressed. She was like, fuck, finally. That went way too long. This is Michelle McCool we're talking about here, not Bruno Sammartino. God, Bruno's did not go that long. Hogan's was quicker. Brett might have gone longer.
Forged in honor's fire. With countless towns and hearts desire.
Jesus.
He traveled far through lands unknown.
Well, Bianca was going to lose tomorrow anyway, so at least Bianca can't be punished for that. But, oh, when that was over, Bianca just shook her head. And I love that.
Is all your worth. His soul is tempered by the fight. For truth and virtue guide his might.
You know, I feel like I look at it like, you know, I can't say, like, Michelle McCool is just not a Hall of Famer to me, you know? It's just like general relativity, you know? Just like everything's just relative to you. Like we all have our own personal Hall of Fames. And I'm sure there is a certain type of wrestling audience that was young around the time that Michelle McCool was in the ring that have fond memories of her and are happy when she went to the Hall of Fame. So they're a Hall of Famer to her or to them. And that's fine. She's just not a Hall of Famer to me. In my universe, she wouldn't be on the list, but so in between these long speeches, we're going to get a Mania promo. We're getting one for Logan and AJ Styles right now. I kind of hope I didn't really talk about this match much as a show stealer, and I should at least give it some thought because these two guys are almost guaranteed to do something pretty special. I think I was more focused on Priest and McIntyre having a memorable one, but I think these two guys could absolutely deliver. And I feel like I've kind of slept on it. So it might surprise me. See, well, Mr. T's was entertaining. If it's entertaining, they can go all night. I used to love the long Hall of Fames because they would go long back in the day, remember? And Mr. T's was great. Loved his mama. Like, his was fun. Iron Sheik's was fun. I would just like it to say, like, he wouldn't leave. Oh, my God. If it's entertaining, then go for an hour. I don't care. WWE has done some fantastic video package work. That one for Roman and Punk and Rollins was awesome. Yeah, Scott Hall's speech was 10 out of 10. I don't remember Hall's going terribly long, though. It was really good. Conan's and Heyman's were both good. Well, Conan he was doing Ray, right? He did a good job. Thunderbolt Patterson's teeth falling out. I think we did a review last year, for the Hall of Fame. Well, we still got to do the Bret Hart and Stone Cold match, and we have to do the Natural Disasters, and then we get Triple H.
WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This brings us to our next recipient of the WWE Hall of Fame Legacy Award, a man who revolutionized a new style.
It's a nice-ass hotel, man. Damn, it's late. Shout out to anybody who's not on the West Coast like me and is staying up really late. At least it's only 11 o'clock for me. But if you're on the East Coast, it's after 2 a.m. now. And WrestleMania is tomorrow, but you guys get to watch WrestleMania at 7 p.m. I have to watch it at 4, so it's different. We will be live here tomorrow. So we're getting Dory's Legacy, and we still have to do the other Legacy. Who's the other Legacy? Why have I forgotten the other Legacy?
The careers of many wrestling legends.
But perhaps his greatest legacy, raising and training his two sons, Hall of Famers Terry Funk and Dory Funk Jr.
The only pair of brothers ever to both hold the world's heavyweight championship.
Dory's dedication to the industry never wavered. And now that legacy lives on, joining his sons in
Yeah, but see, Sherry, I'd listen to Sherry for 20 minutes. I loved all those Hall of Fames back then. 2004 all the way up until probably around like when Shawn went in. Then after that, they start getting a little fuzzier and fuzzier in my memory. And then in 2009, I completely mentally checked out, or 2019, when they started that ring bullshit. I'm like, forget it. Kind of over it. Stand up, Stacy Funk. Damn, look at that dress. Look at these funks. I love the music. Gotta look at Dory. He's there. Dory doesn't have much time left, guys. Haku is here.
How you doing? Damian Priest. Big match tomorrow night at WrestleMania.
Becky Lynch is here.
Becky Lynch is here. I wonder why. What's the connection?
Anyhow, we're here, of course, to celebrate Triple H and his induction into the Hall of Fame tonight. We have a very
Does Becky and Charlotte still have heat? I kind of hope so.
by Tom Rinaldi from Fox Sports to celebrate the game.
Are we going to watch a Triple H video package? I was a Triple H fan. I always liked him.
That damn good. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The different identities, the varied stages, but for Paul Triple H Levesque, there have been three constants through the journey. Passion.
There is nobody that eats, sleeps, or breathes this business more than me.
Persistence.
That's not good. Triple H barely able to stand.
I saw Triple H win the championship once. I think just once.
With passion. A bodybuilding phenom who was Mr. Teenage
In 1999. Damn, look at them bodybuilding photos.
strong when he started training with the great Killer Kowalski.
The first bump I ever took in a wrestling ring, I fell in love with it.
That spark would only spread as Paul built a career that would take him through characters. I am Jean-Paul Levesque and eras.
I want to go on Twitter and see if anybody's got a video clip of Bianca.
Brand new Mr. and Mrs. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. From rivalries.
Oh, and somebody else got her on her phone. Can't believe nobody's got a clip of that yet, of Bianca like shaking her head. It's fucking impossible to miss. People are just mad that she's on her phone. Who cares that she's on her phone? I'd be on my phone.
A love for the game. In the highest moments
Oh, wow.
and the hardest.
Bray Wyatt.
That's when he showed persistence. Often he could have stopped. In 1996, after the infamous curtain call at MSG.
This goes back to the click. This goes back to Madison Square.
Why are they giving Triple H
Hi to my friend.
credit for anything with Bray Wyatt? I guess maybe with bringing him back.
He was against everything they ever stood up for in the business.
Passed over and punished for doing what no one had done before.
I was supposed to go from winning King of the Ring into a huge program with Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship. You know, that's gone.
He came back.
And honestly, I don't even know how good that would have been in 96 if Triple H would have gotten the King of the Ring. Because shit was just still bland. We needed that kick in the pants, and Austin was that kick in the pants. So Triple H winning the King of the Ring is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then being Shawn's opponent, you know, it just wouldn't have been that great, to be honest.
Yeah, probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, but
Impossibly in just 8 months, he was back. Even better.
I remember we were waiting for him to come back in 2001, and he came back in 02.
He could have
U2 music videos and stuff.
when a cardiac event nearly ended his life.
There's moments in there where you
I didn't watch the whole interview. Gilbert, we talked about a couple of the tidbits on the SmackDown review earlier.
do
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 38 when he did that?
More essential, more integral
When he put the boots down?
to the business.
I guess it was, huh?
That brings us to purpose.
I didn't get in this business
I don't know why I didn't think that was. I thought that was last year.
for any other reason. I just want to be great.
That's always been there. As a superstar who would start his day in production meetings. A headliner who was building the NXT franchise for the future.
Guys are changing the way people look at women athletes. It's awesome that it's happening here.
A brand name that wanted to build stories beyond his own. A legend that believed he would and could lift WWE.
I missed the 2005 movie trailer, Mania movie trailers. Those were great.
Creating another generation of memories.
I don't know. Triple H mentioning China. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how deep he wants to go with the thank yous. But if he's thanking everybody that was significant to his career, he's going to have to mention her.
Who he is.
Absolutely.
A celebrated champion. A creative force. A visionary leader. Driven by the greatest force of all. Love.
I think the Tony Khan haters would have to be hospitalized if AEW did any sort of this level of nut gargling for him. They would be losing their minds. Probably wouldn't be able to handle it. Full-blown aneurysms.
And indeed it is, as Stephanie said.
Are those his daughters? I've never really seen them.
Era. Triple H will be out here in just a few moments to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. His family's here tonight. Lovely wife, children, of course his mother-in-law as well.
Okay, so that's who they are.
Also here tonight
They all look different. They don't look like sisters. They look like three different people.
is here at the Hall of Fame. And I bring Jimmy up because
Tony Khan wasn't a wrestler. Yes, he was. He won like lots of titles on the indies in the 70s. Look it up. Crack a book. Tony Khan's a well-decorated, world-renowned wrestler. Just look at his body. You can tell that that guy can go. Do some research transferring heat.
these men were so big, they were so powerful, the earth moved when they walked. And there was a reason they were called the natural disasters.
I mean, I feel like Earthquake could go in on his own. They weren't even a team for that long. They got together in 91, and they were done by 92. I don't think natural disasters were a thing into 1993. They were long done. So we're talking a year and a half, maybe?
In 1991, former sumo wrestler John Tenta, known as Earthquake, joined forces with the equally massive Typhoon, then known as Tugboat.
Tugboat. I remember Earthquake knocked him out of action when he was Tugboat.
The two behemoths thunder through
I was watching the day that he turned. It was like a match against the Bushwhackers, I think.
They were two different characters that came together in a tag team. They just fit.
the natural
And I remember being pretty shocked, but thinking like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like those two guys together is probably a badass team.
with their surprising athleticism.
They weren't just lumbering big men. They were big men that could move.
Earthquake was great. Fucking Shockmaster, man.
In 1993,
I'm glad that Tenta is a champion in WWE. I'm glad they won the tag titles. I watched the episode. It was a TV match when they lost him to Money Inc. I remember being bummed. I liked them as champions. And I thought they were pretty unbeatable.
The tsunami is, of course, another natural disaster.
Oof, the tsunami's awesome.
the natural disasters will be remembered like any huge storm. Unique, powerful, awe-inspiring.
I wish there were more teams like the natural disasters. The legacy the natural disasters leave behind is one of, I want some more of that. Hopefully they inspire the next generation.
Well, we had the AOP. They didn't do anything.
WWE is proud to induct Earthquake and Typhoon, The natural disasters into the 2025.
Mike Witt, I'm hitting the super chats from earlier. You said put AJ Lee in the Hall of Fame next year. Yeah, sure.
Please
At least she was wrestling and wrestling good.
Typhoon Fred Ottman, his son Berkeley Ottman, dog, I must add, and for the late John Tenta, his wife
Wow, that
Josephine,
crowd.
his grandson Joe, his daughter Joanna Tenta, and his son John Tenta Jr.
John Tenta Jr. They got the Earthquake song. Mike, earlier you had $5 saying that now that Luger is in, who's somebody else that should have already gone in? Bigelow is on the top of my list. So is Elizabeth. So is Rick Martel. So is Owen, obviously. Look at the Tentas here. How strong that one girl looks. Jesus. All right, the Tenta clan. Look at this. Oh, that's Fred Ottman. I'm like, who is that? Oh, my God. I'm like, look at this big guy.
Almost 20 years ago, a few months before our dad died, I got home from school, wandered into my parents' room, and found my dad sitting on the floor in front of my parents' bed with VHS tapes spread out in front of him. He smiled and invited me to join him. He was watching a taping of primetime wrestling, and it was his Quake Burger segment. He was cracking up.
That's awesome.
His own lines and telling me how that segment raised a lot of eyebrows at the time. In that moment, it was Earthquake entertaining John Tenta, just like he entertained all of you. I love this memory because it shows the stark contrast between the vicious heel in the ring and the warm, gentle giant that I'm so thankful and proud to call my dad.
I think the audience is much more into this one.
Because at the time, it was bittersweet. I assumed my dad was reflecting about his life nearing its end. 20 years later, I'm sure that was certainly part of it, but I also see a person with an unbelievably full life to look back on and reflect on, and he was able to know that he'd achieved his life's dream. Thank you, first and foremost, to the fans who made that dream come true. He was grateful for your support always. And thank you to the WWE.
Oh, you were at Sean's, and that was the same one as Sonny. That's right, and Bullet Bob. I do remember those. Those were good. Those were good. I thought Sean's speech was nice that year.
I always admired my dad for being unapologetically himself. He was dependable and worked hard, but he was also silly, compassionate, and didn't take himself too seriously.
He died so young, man. His kids look pretty young.
With gentleness often requiring more strength. Wanting to carry on
Juliet, man, thanks for the two. That Triple H wax statue is nuts.
and start training to follow in his footsteps.
He looks like the type of eyes that like the Men in Black guys would go after. Like just some
My dad
creepy
once
alien.
said he wanted to be remembered as a pretty good heel who played his part well. Now, because of his work with Uncle Fred, he will also be remembered
Uncle
as a
Fred.
good babyface. Uncle Fred, thank you for being such a wonderful friend to our father. For bringing to life so many moments.
She kind of reminds me of Lilith a little bit. She kind of even talks like her.
So much joy to our dad's life outside of it. I still have an image in my mind from years ago of you and my father laughing like two men half your age and size on the Dumbo ride at Disney World.
The Dumbo ride at Disney World.
To see that you could be strong.
Is there a photo of that? It would be great. I need something for over my fireplace.
All about. So thank you, Fred. Thank you for being a part of that. If my dad were here tonight, I know he'd want to celebrate you for all you are and for all you gave.
We're going to get another kid speak, or is that it? Oh, good. Here comes Fred.
First of all, I want to tell you all how grateful that the natural disasters are being put in to the 2025 Hall of Fame. Thank you, WWE.
Remember he was supposed to main event Mania 7 with Hogan?
And John,
For the belt, no less.
Thank you for all those beautiful things that you just said. It means a lot to me. I just wish your dad was here next to me.
I do too, man. He died way too young.
He was my best friend. You know, we spent over 300 days a year on the road together. You know, and I loved him. He was my brother from another mother. And it is true. We had the tendencies to be a little infantile sometimes. Okay, I did ride the Dumbo ride.
It's a pretty funny thought of these two giant dudes giggling.
But I had wrote some things here to let you know more about us. You know, when they first came to me, they go, Quake had run his deal with Hulk Hogan. And I went to TV after just doing a photo shoot on tugboats in Rhode Island. And I got there, and I got they want to see you in the office. I'm like, what did I do now? You know, but they called me in the back. They said, we had an idea. You know, Pat was back there, Vince, and they're like, we were thinking about putting you guys together as a team. Well,
Hell yeah.
I go, oh my God, that's awesome. He's a phenomenal athlete, a great friend to me. And, you know, sometimes tag teams don't gel in this business for one reason or another.
Hey, good point. You know, how does this work? Like, if Mick Foley is in the Hall of Fame, does that mean Dude Love is also in the Hall of Fame?
And it was awesome.
So does this mean
You know, we traveled
that Shockmaster is in the Hall of Fame?
traveled here and worked here.
If WWE ever inducts segments, he will be.
Have somebody that cared about you and cared about me. We had so much in common. You know, he was a great dad and a great husband.
Or moments, I should say.
You know, and just a wonderful person. Sorry. You know, but I got a call. You know, he had cancer and he had to move to Houston. And he was in remission. And I got a phone call at my house. And he called, and he was supposed to be going to his son's wedding in Orlando, I believe. And he called, and he says, it's back, Fred. And man, it broke my heart. You know, this big, strong man.
Yeah, it's horse shit that he just got sick like that and died. He'd still be at an age where he'd still have plenty of life left if he was still alive. He was not that old.
So all I could tell you is if John
Oh, Booker is asleep.
seeing his children,
Oh, they're catching everybody in the... You gotta wake up, man. You're in Vegas.
smile on his face, and those dimples, you know.
Booker might have to get up in the morning, though. Isn't the
But
takeover like at 7 in the morning or something?
Quake, I miss you. And this one here, brother, this is for you.
You know that was a rib. They had to have seen Booker sleeping. They're like, put the camera on him. Let's get him in trouble. All right. That was a pretty quick speech. Michelle McCool put everybody to sleep. Yeah, 61. Still got time left.
The Hall of Fame rings, the natural disasters. Great rings this year.
All right, so at least that's the last inductee other than Triple H besides the last legacy one.
Gentlemen, we have a new moment, the immortal moment that
Oh, yeah, this.
presented
I
this
forgot about this.
involved in this is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Are they not there? We haven't seen Stone Cold and Brett. I thought they were going to be here for this.
WWE social media team put together what they believe were some of the top stunners in the history of Stone Cold's career. Let's take a look.
Love that. This was
Well, Brett and Austin being out there on stage should wake the crowd up.
Xavier Woods having a time, dancing. Oh! Stop my neck. Change your life. How about the rock? Wayne Johnson and Steve traveled the road, stunning the hell out of each other. Hey, yo. Scott
So we're getting a Stone Cold Stunner montage here.
How about Kevin Nash? Still 6'10" somehow after getting stunned. HBK. NXT starts in 20 minutes.
That Vince won that year, man. My God. You're just letting it spill out of your mouth.
And obviously one of the reasons why the man is considered a GOAT in all conversations.
Let's get to it. This is the inaugural Immortal Moment. Entering into the WWE.
Now, in the chat, did any of you watch this live on pay-per-view?
Chicago.
Like I did?
Qualification. Submission.
And I wasn't alone. I had a couple friends with me. And we were blown away.
Hitman Hart.
I mean, this was a great match, but it's the story of the match is what makes it like the greatest match of all time. It's not really the in-ring work. I mean, they spent half the match in the crowd. I mean, all of that blood is really what makes this. Excuse me. Plus, Austin's refusal to die, the double turn. Brett was starting to veer off into being a heel around this time. And it was just all so perfectly... You couldn't ask for a better scenario. So it took all of that to make that great. Plus, Austin's knee wasn't even that great. But some of those spots in the ring when they were brawling and stuff, oh my God. The chair shots were so intense.
Everything is so believable with Brett and Stone Cold. People on the edge of their chair to see what happens next. And the story couldn't have been any better told than it was in that night.
I thought if Brett and Austin were in the crowd, well, I guess they got to be back in the back. They're not going to be sitting in the crowd. I was thinking they'd come up like it's Price is Right. I mean, they should wake up here because if Punk is doing the induction, Punk will wake them up. We're going to get Cult of Personality, Bret Hart's song, and Stone Cold's song all in the next 10 minutes here. So that should wake everybody up.
Steve absorbed an incredible amount of punishment.
Damn, Miles, 5 years younger than this match. I was I was 20, almost 20 when this match happened.
It changed the business forever. Little did I know that this was going to be one of the greatest matches of all time.
WrestleMania 13, that night was perfection.
Has anybody else on social media caught that video of Bianca shaking her head? Or is it still just about being on the phone?
Ordinary WrestleMania 13 battle. A WWE Immortal Moment.
It's an immortal moment, guys. All right, let's bring Punk out there.
And who better to induct this immortal moment than, well, the man who hails from the city where this great match took place.
The second city saint, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk.
All right. At least we get some Punk. He's not getting a huge pop from his peers. I think we got Nick Khan in the front row there. Cody's in the front row.
So they've given me 2 minutes to talk about
I wonder why.
two greatest generations.
They've given me 2 minutes. I wonder why. Fuck Michelle McCool, man. Was she supposed to go for an hour like that? She really cut into everybody's time
WrestleMania 13. Now I could talk about
with that nonsense.
gentlemen for 2 hours plus. I could talk about that match for another 5. But you guys don't want to hear from me tonight. You want to hear from Steve Austin and Bret Hart.
It's a shame that Punk doesn't have a little more time
I think
to talk about this.
teams, as performers, as artists, we speak in absolutes and hyperbole too often. This guy's the worst wrestler I've ever seen. You hear it all the time. This is the greatest match I've ever seen. I think the hyperbole and the absolutes should be reserved for these two men in this match. It is the greatest match in WrestleMania history. It's perfect. Just trying to eat up a little bit of time here to see if I can.
He's purposely pausing. He's got 2 minutes. He's like, I'm just going to chill.
I say them the best in the world, but this night is not about me. This moment means a lot to me. This match, I think, meant a lot to the business and a lot of the boys and girls sitting here today, and certainly to the fans. Shout out to Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Part of this.
Good for Punk for bringing up Shamrock.
He selflessly understood what it took to
I think Punk's purposely going over a little bit here, which is going to just cut into Austin and Brett's time.
Some of the best fans in the world helped make this perfect storm
I hope Brett, like,
what it was.
at least shouts out Goldberg.
And again, this is not about me, but this moment and this match and these two guys mean so much to me. This all means so much to me. Because all I've ever tried to do is walk in the shadow of giants. All I will continue to do, and I'm doing quite literally right now, is follow in the footsteps of the legends and fill the boots of the people that I idolized when I was a kid. I've been fortunate to have a lot of mentors in this business. Some of them aren't here with us anymore. Harley's gone. Eddie's not with us. Carrie isn't here anymore. Roddy has passed on. I think it's important to say how grateful I am and thankful I'm here today. Thankful that Brett and Steve are here so we can all tell them how much they mean to us, to thank them, to give them their flowers because they so desperately deserve it. So please join me in giving the flowers and showing love to two of the greatest superstars of all time.
Definitely went over 2 minutes.
My mentors, my idols, my friends, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Brett's going to be out first. Hurry up, Brett. Brett? Oh, there he is. Is he going to come out? Brett's looking a little slow. Maybe Austin will stun him. This is pretty wild. Like, if I could be inside my brain in 1997 and think that one day, 28 years later, I'll be watching these two guys being like honored just for the beauty of that match. Because we knew we were witnessing greatness. We knew it. It's kind of like the Hell in the Cell. Like, I watched that as it happened with Mick Foley. And it's like, you knew. Like, well, we're going to remember this shit for forever. And it's been 28 years, and it's kind of interesting. They got the trophy there, the plaque or statue, whatever that is, and it's like a split face of Bret and Austin. Who gets to keep it? Look at these two geezers. Geezers, I tell you. Oh, my God. Look at these two together. It's wild.
First of all, I just want to say it's a huge honor to be the first guy to get 3 Hall of Fame rings.
Bret puts over his 3 Hall of Fame rings first thing. That's the first thing he does. Make sure we know that up front.
This match, I knew when I was in the dressing room after, it was like, I think that was my greatest match. It was such a great moment for me. It was something that I could feel it the second it happened, and I just knew that this might be the greatest match of all time. Might be the greatest match I ever had.
I can see so much of Stu now in him. You could see it in all the older brothers back in the day, but now Brett's old, so you can see it.
French painter.
He's starting to look like Ross.
Said, his name is George Brack. He once said, art.
Oh no.
Art is a wound.
Brett almost forgot his quote.
And for me, I've always thought that was the perfect statement about this match. And for me, just having this match was...
Dustin, how long before replica statues make their way to WWE shop? I don't know. I'd give it 20, 30 minutes, somewhere in there.
That is goes beyond, being friends in wrestling. And what it is it's trust and respect. And there was always a lot of trust, and there was always a lot of respect. And when we had that match, that's the one thing that I remember the most, is that there was this respect between each other and the trust between each other. And that's what means the most to me right now standing here, is that that's how you do magic in wrestling, is when you have that trust and respect. You can't be a great
Brett talks a lot too.
without having that. And I had it with a lot of wrestlers, but for me, the one guy that stands out the most as having the most respect and the most trust was this guy right here. I'm gonna pass over. I only got 2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes. Thanks, Michelle.
Take down the rest of the road.
Man, I've talked about this match so much. You come out here and blow smoke up Brett's ass and my ass is just like overkill. Hey, that's the gig. It happened to be a real good house in Chicago that night. Chicago seemed to be a stronghold for me. Brett and I went to the finish room, got the marching orders. I didn't think much of it. I kind of doubted it. Brett and I were sitting on the apron kind of talking. I went back, doubled back to the old man, said, hey, man, you think it's going to work? He goes, oh, God. Steve. So I went back out there and started talking to him. Anyway, went out there and just had a hell of a match. And it was basic and it was simple.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
You can do whatever you want, but man, if you keep it basic simple, you got a pretty good start there, because you ain't got to do a whole bunch of and hurt yourself. It was a great match. It was a lot of fun, and like CM Punk said, he so properly addressed Ken Shamrock. I'd like to say thank you to Ken Shamrock. He brought a lot.
Thank you, Austin, bringing up Shamrock too.
The only thing that pissed me off is some bitch is so jacked.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, me and Brett look like
He was just, he looked ridiculous that night.
he looked like $1 million. Hell, he's worth the pay-per-view all by himself.
He definitely outshined both the guys. Steve's right about that.
Also, on the just the way it was, there was 3 guys doing commentary on that match, and they made that match. And one was Vince, and he was dropping a lot of stuff in that match because he saw the vision. I was a trash talking redneck heel, and he saw a long range Steve being an anti-hero babyface. I knew what we was going to do, but I didn't know what it was going to become. Jumping Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, 2 of the best to ever do it.
3 complete dillweeds too on commentary.
It was personal, it was real, and with those 3 guys doing the commentary, they laid down the soundtrack to back up every single thing we did, and it was a combination of that crowd, the story.
I give it more to Jim Ross. He made every match like that.
Like Brett said, the respect that we had, but the animosity that was, portrayed out there on the show on a week-by-week basis on Monday Night Raw. It was just a great time in my life, and kind of makes me goddamn almost a little bit speechless, because you see those packages and they put them together so good. And hell, I started to cry back there in the back, because it was such a good memory for me to look at all those pictures and that video reel of what Brett and I did.
I can only imagine what it's like for those guys. Like as a fan, I remember watching this, and now it's 3 decades later.
So if Pat McAfee would bring some beer, I sure would appreciate it, because I'm about to start crying, and I might get a hangover tonight, and I'll look like that damn thing right there that they made for us. To Bret Hart, I don't know if you want to drink a beer, but I'm going to open you a beer. Pat, I know you'll drink.
Brett will drink one.
Brett, I love you. You took me under your wing when I came into the company.
I love this.
Showed me the way. You helped me out. You knew that we could make money. We did. If it wasn't for Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin wouldn't be sitting here.
I'm proud to be the first match with Brett going in.
Mm-hmm.
My peers over here, I'm looking at Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, all these guys, Triple H. They could have went in themselves, but we were the first. We deserved it. Kind of changed the history of the business, and that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so. Cheers, Brett.
God, they're cheering. Just the way Brett goes, hell yeah! Old man yell. Oh man, Brett gets the old man tap. Oh man, fans definitely like that one, or the audience definitely like that one the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, more to come, including our main event, 2025 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
God, Michelle McCool's speech was just way too long. It's kind of infuriating, to be honest. I'm like, girl, you needed 6 minutes max. You went an hour. Fucking Divas champion. God.
Look, all I can say at the moment is the investigation is still ongoing.
Yeah, Brett walked out a little
Having to relinquish
gingerly. I mean, he's getting old.
No, I don't want to do that. What are you talking about? No.
If she needs a tag team partner, I can step up to the plate. Yes, Naomi has always had my back.
Naomi is standing side by side with her longtime
We talked about on the review tonight, too, like that segment on SmackDown tonight, Bianca came face-to-face with Jade and Naomi. So there's no way Bianca's winning the title and staying on Raw, you know? You can cancel her out now for sure. Io will retain. She was the first ever Divas. She was? See, I don't even know that.
This is the 7th Women's Elimination Chamber match in history. Naomi eliminated
Yeah, Barry, you can handle this. It's only 8:45 for you. Well. Bianca is locked in her pod. That was awesome, slamming a door on her. I did see Danhausen and Bailey. I like that there's so many people in town for WrestleMania every year that all the talent crosses over. Like if it would have been like this back in the 90s, WCW would have taken all their people would have gone into the same town as WrestleMania. That would have been crazy.
I mean, how can you trust anyone after that? I've always been a woman to do the right thing. I did it for you. I did it for us. No, don't touch me.
Me and you, we're done.
Now that you're back, Bianca won't even look at me. You tried to take me out because of your own insecurity.
I really hope this match is surprisingly good. I feel like Naomi's got to win it.
I'm not just angry. I'm pissed. When I think about all that
I have not seen. Has anybody caught Rhea Ripley on camera yet? I have not seen her. So if Buddy's there, maybe they're just not really showing them.
has run out. This WrestleMania, the glow is fading. At WrestleMania, I strongly
I wonder where the wrestlers are all staying. Like if they're staying in that hotel. I mean, it's a huge hotel apparently. There's 36 restaurants there. Like maybe they can just go right up to the room from there. But they might want to also hang out. Especially if you're not working until night 2. I wonder if they make all the night 2 people show up on night 1. Just to ensure that they're not getting into trouble. With Delano, I've been in there.
Countdown to WrestleMania gets underway at 4 o'clock on the East Coast. WrestleMania at 7, and of course, the WrestleMania post show. Moments away from our main event here tonight at the Fountain Blue for the WWE WWE Hall of Fame. And our final recipient of this year's Legacy Award was a man who ended the greatest championship reign of all time. Nearly 8 years by Bruno Sammartino.
Oh yeah, Ivan. I was trying to remember who the other legacy was. It's Ivan Koloff.
Ivan Koloff, a revered classic villain in WWE history. Koloff began a 6-decade reign of fear in 1969. His crowning achievement, ending Bruno Sammartino's historic, nearly 8-year championship reign.
So after this, we should get Triple H, which means they should end on time. This is going to end at the bottom of the next hour here.
Kept the people right on their toes. I wrestled Ivan Koloff 60, 70, 80 times.
60, 70. They always inflate everything.
Phenomenal talent.
During the Cold War, Koloff imposed his iron fist onto the next generation, creating the infamous regime, the Russians.
Ivan is the general. He knows.
I mean, that was a big deal. I mean, Bruno's runs were like
The old Russian proverb says, I ran
insane.
but ran into a bear. No doubt how opponents felt about the Russian bear. Congratulations, Ivan Koloff, a proud member of the
He used to live in the same town as me, a little tiny ass town in North Carolina. And he was super active in like church and everything and pretty down to earth dude.
Please help us welcome the wife of the Russian bear, Renee Koloff.
I'm glad they brought the family there.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt who the man we are here to celebrate tonight has meant to my career. I've known him for 28 years, from the day he gave me a wedgie.
Oh yeah, DX was brutal to Michael Cole in the beginning. Oh man.
I know, Pat, how much Triple H means to you.
He got me suspended in middle school and in high school because I was saying things that had 2 words in them with hand gestures. Long before
That's another perspective that I don't have that I kind of wish that I did. I was already out of school by the time Suck It and all that stuff. But there's a whole generation of fans right below me that were all in school during that. So I'm like curious like how that went, you know, because wrestling was not cool when I was in school. So to all of a sudden having a bunch of kids wearing merch and talking about wrestling would have been crazy to me. I think I would have liked it because I would have made more wrestling friends. But I couldn't talk about the new generation to kids when I was a senior. You kidding me?
Kolovac's a kid from New Hampshire.
So Pat McAfee being like, I got suspended from school for crotch chopping. And I'm like, yeah, I probably would have been crotch chopping.
Said I'm going to do whatever it takes.
I definitely told teachers to suck it. 100%. I love that Metallica.
Student of the game.
This is Nothing Else Matters, right?
Desire,
Cool song choice.
work ethic, professionalism,
So close, no matter how far.
love of the business.
That's cool.
His goal is to make this place better than it was yesterday. And it shows when he steps in the ring, it shows when he puts on a suit.
When you love the business the way he does, it
You know how I talked about wishing I could tell my
in the executive offices.
97 self, like, you're going to be watching these 2 guys go into the Hall of Fame for this very match. Like, I wish I could tell myself that Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the Greenwich Blue Blood, is going to run the whole damn show. He's going to be the next Vince. What? Nothing else matters. I was at the Nitro Invasion episode. I was at Raw. You had a career. I was always, in terms of Triple H's wrestling career, a big fan. I don't know really where he ranked all time for me. He wasn't like one of my all-time favorites, but I always liked him. You know, he got a lot of fan heat, and I most of the time went against that for the most part. There was a lot about Triple H that I appreciated because wrestling was getting pretty wild at the time. We were seeing crazy things, crazy gimmicks even, and Triple H was kind of like, his aura was a little bit of a link to the past. You know, I felt like he carried the title a little bit more like Ric Flair would, like Harley would. I feel like he wanted to be a champion like that and had respect and knowledge of that history and that part of the business. So for that alone, I was going to be like a fan of his. He's not going to be like the flashiest and most finesse in the ring, but he knew how to work and how to do what worked and had classics with guys. Worked within his talent range, you know, or his physical talent level. Since he married right, he might have gotten a couple of extra opportunities here and there that he maybe wouldn't have necessarily gotten, but it's life, bro. Welcome to everywhere. Welcome to any job. Welcome to any company. Certain people will have advantages based on whatever situation they're in.
A 14-time world champion and a headliner of WrestleManias.
An incredible performer, gave his body to entertain all of us.
Be careful, Tito. Be careful. Oh, I never did feed him, did I? Sorry, buddy. Let me go take care of that real quick. 2 seconds. Come here, buddy.
The building of the first ever territory from the ground up. NXT.
All right. Done.
I'm very proud of him. It's so good the way he conducts himself.
And I feel like this is going to be the nice, you know, little cherry on top of his career, too. Now, Hall of Fame induction, like that chapter is officially closed, you know. And now he's Paul Levesque, the runner of everything. Triple H is officially off into the sunset. And that is kind of significant, you know, when you think about it. Because he's one of the first, because of his medical condition and stuff, he's one of the first wrestlers that, this is the final end. And he might come out to the ring to his music here and there, you know, but in terms of Triple H doing anything as a wrestler ever again, that's done. The water spit. Huh, they're all trying it? Oh, and the dance.
I don't think they knew that was us.
His desire to constantly learn and grow
I mean, he survived the curtain call.
is really what has allowed him to become one of the all-time greats.
Total commitment to being the best.
And there were just times in his life where he had a little bit of heat, but
Patience, understanding, compassion, dignity, and honor is an amazing thing.
You can feel it right on the cuff. It's his life's work, and we need somebody like that leading this ship for WWE.
Everything in my life stems in some way from WWE. My best friends in life, my wife, my kids.
I mean, I am curious about long-term future succession in WWE. You know, somebody's going to have to do it after him, and who in the company will be there to assume that role. And if there's not a steady figure there, I worry that what WCW went through late in their terms could start happening, where there's just a new person in charge every so often, and your focus just gets lost.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the man here to induct
Oh yeah, Sean. I was about to say, who would we have to have first? Sean's got to come out first, tell a couple stories. So they had to make time for Sean and Hunter. Now who's like? I'm assuming it's Bruce. Like, is Triple H taking this one completely off? Is he back there on headset directing everything? Tell them they only got 2 minutes. You got to leave room for me. That's not happening, right? Is he off to the side here and he's just kind of sitting this one out? Letting Bruce handle it? Who's handling it? Lee Fitting?
He is the man that is creating NXT right now. He is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
I forgot to give NXT predictions. I am not waking up to watch that at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, Sean, do you have 2 minutes too, or?
Thank you very much. First of all, before we get started, I hope everybody's enjoying this year, 2025. The 2025 Hall of Fame.
The 2025 ass-kissing Hall of Fame.
To the NXT talent that's out there, if I don't show up tomorrow morning, that joke didn't go over very well in the back.
If I don't show up tomorrow. Hey, look, Axe and Smash are there. That's really cool.
I get to induct my best friend Triple H into the WWE Hall of Fame.
I didn't see Axe and Smash earlier. Like, so Randy Orton sitting with the Miz and Maurice and with Seth and his wife. I forget who Seth Rollins' wife is. I think she used to wrestle. Red hair.
The game. The King of Kings.
Forget who she is.
The 14-time world champion. Numerous Rumble wins. Classic rivalries with the biggest names in WWE history. The Rock.
Yeah, approaching midnight. Peacock already had the preset time here to 2.5 hours, so I figured this is going to end at 12:30 for me anyway.
It goes on and on. I know. I'm a bit biased because I'm his best friend. But I was there in the beginning. Me and some other boys you might have heard of called the Clique.
There's Nash and Waltman right there.
We watched him come in, and he didn't walk in the door wanting to be what he is today, which is the most powerful man in wrestling. He just wanted to be what a lot of us wanted to be.
Rebecca something. Yeah, Shane, you might be right.
He didn't think he was walking
I think they met on Tinder, as Seth tells the story.
some diabolical plan to take over the world.
I keep wanting to see how many people in the crowd are falling asleep.
A lot of us, he had to
They're all struggling.
Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but he wouldn't have accomplished all that if he didn't marry the boss's daughter.
He wouldn't. Yeah, that's probably true. Sean should say it's true.
You're wrong. What he did,
Somebody goes, "You said it."
fell in love with him. And the list of accomplishments, I damn assure you, would not have changed a bit. They would have stayed the same no matter what because he was willing to outwork everyone else. Because that's simply who he is.
Jay is sleeping completely.
And now, speaking of that beautiful woman, I know there have been times when you've wondered about our relationship.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Sean goes, "There have been times you've wondered about our relationship."
My wife wondered as well.
My wife wondered as well.
But as he and I have both done, we have assured our wives, and I'm here to assure all of you, hand to God, the only times we've ever kissed was on live television
Yeah.
in front of all of you.
Sean kissed him that one time. One more time. Oh God.
That's the truth, Steph, and I'm sticking to it, I promise. Hunter does everything in life with a sincere, genuine intent. From being raised by two unbelievably genuine parents to raising a family of his own, to making a genuine friendship.
Wow, that is his dad. Wow.
A bunch of crazy dudes. It's last
He looks like him, doesn't he? That nose.
Trust me, when it comes to me,
I'm glad that they inducted each other.
when it comes to me, it was a conscious decision of his to be my friend. Now look, I like to think he learned a lot from me, the do's and the don'ts. Especially the don'ts.
I mean, that's true. Sean was a hot mess.
I feel like I helped him.
Triple H still hung out with him, but
Wrestling business. But to understand
Triple H knew what he was doing. Top guys.
business
Top guys.
this place and helping him get to the level that I knew he wanted to get to. The level that both of us knew he had the talent to achieve. We spent so much time together, we almost always know what the other is thinking. And I can honestly say, I don't know why he stayed my friend for so long. For a guy who has such a sharp business sense, it was probably the worst decision in the world to continue to be my friend. And I can assure you, everybody, and the other guys will tell you, it wasn't because of my charming personality. Every smart business move would have told him to just do the whole Homer Simpson thing where you just kind of fade back into the hedges. I do what everybody else does.
Fade back into the hedges.
Guys did
Jesus,
it
look
all
at
the time,
Stephanie. Jesus Christ.
But he stayed my best friend through thick and thin. And not knowing that one day I was going to turn my life around and become an incredibly wonderful, humble, and adorable human being that stands here before you. Hunter didn't leave me because no matter what, he wouldn't allow himself to do it. Because that's the type of human being he is. That's the type of human being he was raised to be. Now, we'd be here all day if I went into his time as the game with the leader of evolution, the king of kings or the leader of the authority, and certainly not where it all started. As the new leader of the second iteration of D-Generation X, the one during the
That night after Mania 14 was legendary.
was so much better than the original.
I was such a mark back then too, and just seeing that happen, oh my god.
Not at all.
Imagine watching Triple H bring back
Quickly fast
X-Pac and introduce him as a member of DX when you're 20 years old.
biggest contribution
I know.
to business.
I'm very blessed.
He holds a special place in my heart. And that's NXT.
Yeah, now NXT, Sean's got all his kids there.
When the clique was riding around in the car, we used to share stories about our love and passion for the business. We always wondered to ourselves, like, why can't it be like this all the time? And one day, Hunter had the foresight and vision to build a place where that excitement and passion could do just that, live all the time. Hunter had the ability to see the future of what the WWE could be. Everybody's always said, you can't just build a WWE superstar. One day, if I know him like I know him, he said to himself, why the hell not? So he created an environment where you could create just that. Where you didn't have to grow up loving this like we did. But if you could be around it 24/7, and if we could find that, if that was in you, we would bring it out of you and then we would snatch it up. We would see.
I love that CM Punk was like 2 minutes my ass. He's like, I don't think so.
And here we are, Mania, that card is damn near all NXT alumni. Every friendship has its ebbs and flows, its ups and downs, just like ours. But we're still as solid as ever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Outside of Jade Cargill and Cody Rhodes,
Started with a phone call.
who on the Mania card has not passed through NXT? Rey Mysterio,
Just swing on by.
Logan Paul,
See what you think.
AJ.
And what started out at 2 hours a day, 3 days a week, has literally turned into a non-stop 24/7 grind, day in, day out, that virtually never ends.
I like how Sean's cracking. Yeah, it's got to be a crazy job.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
But he probably, yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
Well, I might now that I think about it. When I get emails at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Cena. There you go.
with per Paul.
Punk.
For the love of God, who the hell is Paul? You want to know who Paul is? Paul's my boss. And Paul, my boss, sure as hell ought to know not to be emailing me at 1 o'clock in the morning when he knows I go to bed at 9.
Yeah, Paul. Asshole.
I'm telling you this much, the Paul I
Hey, look, Zack Ryder. It's as close as he's going to get back to WWE.
On the way over here, though, it finally dawned on me. I see what he's doing. I get it. He's getting me back. He's getting me back for everything that I did to him into the 90s. You think the reign of terror from 2002 to 2005 was something? You ought to try working for the dude. Where's a frickin' sledgehammer when you need it?
Oh, that's right. He did. Punk was in NXT way back at the beginning. Yeah, I forgot.
He didn't leave me. So I'm sure as hell not leaving him.
Good for you, Sean. Y'all's friendship truly has stood the test of everything. They've had multiple chapters and eras.
Those two guys down there. And another that isn't with us.
He's talking about, I guess, Nash and
With
Waltman.
Click, it was ride or die. From the very beginning. And nothing is ever, ever going to change that. Hunter is the guy that can take the WWE into the future. There's no one better and more equipped to do that than Hunter. I watch him work with talent. I marvel at his temperament. His ability to work with high caliber talent. I mean, who can go and collaborate with Bad Bunny and Travis Scott and then turn around and work with Roman Reigns and CM Punk? He started creating his own elaborate WrestleMania entrances, and now he's doing it for the entire roster. He has an incredibly unique way of managing the corporate and the business side, and yet still does it without losing his love for what happens inside that ring. People and talent.
Well, there's
They feel more confident with Triple H.
Zoe and Ivy.
Because he can keep the integrity. He can keep the integrity of pro wrestling and keep the WWE continuing to be the largest.
We still have to hear Triple H talk once he gets out there. He'll probably keep it short. He knows he's got a fucking big day. He knows all his guys and gals are falling asleep out there.
This time, I'm going to bring out the best friend a guy could ever have.
Okay, good. Bring him out.
He's one hell of a leader. And I know he knows this. But I have to say it publicly.
Stand and Deliver is at 10 a.m. or something. Down at Denny Down Bad. I think Stand and Deliver starts right after this. I think stay tuned for Stand and Deliver.
Please welcome the newest member of the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame, Triple H.
Here comes the game. Look, I know everybody's got a big day, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I really do love this more. This is the way a Hall of Fame set should look. That year that Bret Hart got tackled, fans should not have access to these guys at all. You know, like, this is much better. His parents being there is wild to me. I'm glad that his parents are still alive. You deserve it. Triple H, I don't think it would be a waste of your time to start talking. Look at Paul Heyman. He looks like a little kid. Like he's generally interested.
Minutes blubbering, so I might be dehydrated. If I pass out, someone come and drop an elbow on me or something. We can get some mileage out of it at least. I love all of you. It doesn't get any better than having.
He's just sad because Sean talked him all up.
I'm not good talking when I get choked up. We might be here for a while.
No, we don't want to be here for a while.
They say in life, if you can find a true friend, you're truly a rich man. He makes me a billionaire. Thank you all for being here, first of all.
Oh yeah, Jacob and Penta too. That's true.
I want to mention
There's a whole bunch.
off the top, first of all, Motorhead. That song to me just never gets old. Lemmy gave me the gift of his sound and his friendship, and I could never repay him for that.
Curious if he says something about China.
One thing before we get started tonight, I wanted to take a moment.
Before we get started.
Little thing here.
We haven't started?
Rich Herring. Please stand up.
Oh yeah.
Many of you saw Rich get inducted in the Hall of Fame a few years ago, but he's here tonight. I wanted him to be here. Just so happens that on this day today, 55 years ago, Rich Herring did his first show for the WWF, and he has never left this company.
That's crazy. 55 years. Jesus.
He was here through thick and thin, and as I would learn to know him, I would start to call him the Wolf, like in Pulp Fiction. Because it's really bad. If something was really messed up and you didn't know what to do, I would just call the Wolf and he would fix it. Thank you, Rich, for all your years. For being here, you are the man. Thank you.
That's crazy. 55 years ago. Jesus.
Especially my friends if it wasn't for Rich Herring. You know, when Nick first sprang this on me, we were doing a town hall, and out would walk Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and I was thinking to myself, like, I probably should have read this format better before we came out here, because I didn't know these guys were coming out, and I had no idea what they were doing. Since that moment, I've been trying to think about how do I talk about this, and I still don't know how. You know, everybody has their...
Well, just talk about your career. Your career was a good one.
Some from past years are still going right now. Mr. T is somewhere. He loves his mom. And he's just going home with the finale of that speech. But I get it now. This is by far one of the hardest things to put together. The deeper I dug into it, the harder it got. And I realized that as I went through this, it wasn't about me. It was about the people that got me here.
I don't think he's he's not going to thank the fans, is he?
Because at the end of the day, I'm just a kid from New Hampshire that at 5 or 6 years old was sitting on my...
All his emotion and love is for the people that he met inside the business. He spent all week shitting on the fans in the WrestleMania media.
That's all I ever wanted to be.
See if he gives us any props here. I stood by him. I was a fan. When people say, Triple H sucked, I said, no, he didn't. Or no, he doesn't.
In your life that give you that encouragement, that lead the way, that help in whatever way they can, you just don't get there. I had a lot of those people, and I was very lucky to have them. People will say in life when they look at somebody, oh, he's a self-made man, or, you know, he came from nothing and became something. He's a self-made man. There isn't a self-made man on this planet. Everybody is a product of the people around them and what it leads them to do. For me, it starts with my parents. I've said it before when we did DX. My mom taught me all that stuff.
Thank you, Mom. His mom taught him the crotch chop.
Tell you to suck it. Just wait. But they taught me a work ethic and a skill set, not to become rich, not to do anything else, because working your ass off is what's right to do. If you believe in something, work until you have it. Work until it is yours. They taught me that. And if I could just take a personal second, tonight is their 61st anniversary.
Damn. 61st anniversary. Good for them.
My sister Lynn is here, always supportive, always believing in me. She's 4 years older than me. I can remember one time a kid same age as her beating the I went home and told her, and she proceeded to leave the house and beat the kid. So, always been there to have my back. She recently had a similar cardiac situation that I had. And when you talk about hard work, not only has she bounced back, they now have her giving testimonials. She's on billboards and huge head now. She thinks she's done, you know, something.
She thinks she's something special.
Star in the family, you know what I mean? Like, but she is, because she turned her entire life around and made this remarkable comeback. She's a fighter, and I'm incredibly proud of her. My sister Lynn. Her kids are here, Nasa and Pete. I love them to death. Once I discovered wrestling, it was always in the back of my mind. It was what I wanted to do at 14 years old. I went to a gym because I thought, like, well, I got to get big like the guys I see on TV. I got to go in the gym and I got to train. I went to the gym for the first time and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I would meet another person that would help lift me up there, Brian Zagaritas, who was sitting right
Brian
there.
Zagaritas.
Friends for 40 years. He was my first training partner. He was jacked up, college kid. He saw this 14, 15-year-old, 6'1", 130-pound string bean kid that was probably like the gym mascot, and took me under his wing and beat the living that gym every day to help me achieve my goals, and I'm forever grateful of that. Sitting next to him is a good friend of mine, Mike Belanger, who 40 years ago was a guy in the gym. I asked him to come out here because 40 years ago I was a guy closing the gym where he would be there every night and I'd be wearing him out with stupid stories about how I was going to get in the wrestling business and take that world over, and he listened to all of it and believed all of it and said, you should do that. And that kind of encouragement leads you to do incredible things in your life when you have somebody that stands behind you. So thank you.
If we're only at the thanking the trainers he met at the gym when he was 15, we got a ways to go.
I'd discover Arnold. I'd read a book that he wrote called Education of a Bodybuilder. I probably read it 1,000 times. In that book, there would be a blueprint that Arnold had as a kid from Austria that would decide that he was going to become the greatest bodybuilder on the planet, then he was going to move to America, which was unheard of, and then he was going to become the biggest movie star of all time, and then he was going to get into politics and so on and so forth. I read that book like it was a blueprint of how to get what you wanted out of life. And it started in that gym because the weights didn't lie. The harder you worked, the more you got out of it, the more you got out of it, the more you succeeded. And for me, that was everything. So Arnold became a big role model for me, and somebody that I would look up to my entire career and still do to this day. I've said this to him personally. He is the American dream.
He's putting over Arnold Schwarzenegger here.
Sort of being there in my life, whether he knew it or not, and certainly he didn't know it at the time, he would inspire me to become something more. So thank you.
I think AJ's kind of like looking like, what time is it?
Jim, world's strongest man. And, you work your ass off for something, and then one day you catch the break. Here's this guy, he's been in the business, and I asked him to help. I'm my early 20s. Hey, please guide me. Is there a place I can go train? It wasn't like now where you can just look on the internet. He told me, nah, you don't want to get in that business. It's a whole, stay out of that. You're a nice kid, don't do that. Yeah, I just couldn't take no for an answer, and he would turn me on to this grumpy old man named Killer Kowalski. Kowalski, in his own unique way, in a no AC, no heat having boxing ring that was like concrete, would teach me in his own unique way. He would see something in me, and after the first day I trained there, which to be honest felt like the most natural thing in my life, I left there thinking I'm supposed to do this. He said, it was on a Saturday, and he said, I'll see you tomorrow. And I said, I don't quite have the money to pay you to train me yet. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get that. And I'll come back when I do. And he looked at me and said, no, you come tomorrow, pay me when you can, whatever you can, and I'm gonna teach you, and you're gonna be great, and you're gonna be a big star. And I never forgot it. He taught me things that I didn't even know he was teaching me, because most of the time I couldn't figure out what the hell he was saying. But I still hear myself saying a different version of those things to talent today, trying to get them to that level they're trying to aspire to be. I might not have known what he was telling me at the time, but they sunk in and helped get me to that next place. From there, I would go to WCW, and I see Eric Bischoff sitting right there.
All right, we're up to WCW now.
Geographically undesirable, right? But he took a chance, and he gave me a job, and Eric, for forever grateful. You gave me the start. You opened the door for me into something more. Thank you. From there, the first person I would meet in WCW was Dusty Rhodes. And it was on Dusty's last day as Booker in WCW, and I had no idea, and I'm kind of the one that informed him of that when I told him that Eric Bischoff asked me to come there. But he was wonderful to me. And later in life...
That's kind of funny story, actually. Oh, look at there.
He would teach me a lot of things, including something I take with me to this day. Booking ain't easy, kid. And it isn't. You got to work your ass off, and you got to stay in front of it, always.
That's true. Stay in front of it. You can tell when wrestling companies aren't in front of it. WWE is often not in front of it.
When I was there, people that would just give me words of encouragement, that meant the world to get me to that next level. Arn Anderson would walk up to me after my dark match and tell me, "You just got yourself a job, kid. Way to go." And then later that night he would say, when the show was over, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I would say, "I'm going back to my hotel. That's it." And he would say, "No, you're not. You're coming out with us." I went out with Arn that night. Once he realized that I didn't drink or do drugs or anything else, I would go out with Arn a lot since I could drive us home safely every night.
And that's what he did for the Click, too. Same thing.
And also, when he was in an unsafe environment for him, he would also make me go get a Popeye's chicken at all hours of the morning, which he would enjoy greatly. So it was
Which he would enjoy greatly.
but I would learn an
Popeye's chicken.
from Arn Anderson, and I'm forever grateful. Harley Race, I would meet in WCW. Harley would walk up to me first day. I had said hello to him, he had said hello, and then a little while later would come up to me with a cigarette. "I heard you trained with Kowalski." "Yes, sir, yes, I did." And then he stared at me for an unreasonably long amount of time that I was very uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure if he was going to hit me. I really wasn't sure what was going to happen, and finally he just took another drag and said, "He was the Yes, sir, I realize that. Yes, thank you very much. Harley would go on to teach me a lot of things, and a lot of people have a lot of wild stories about Harley Race. The one I will tell you is that when my daughter was born, Aurora, Harley went out of his way to personally, his wife told me, buy her a set of earrings that he picked out personally to come give to me, to give to Aurora. He was one of a kind. Guys in that time frame, and I'll just mention them briefly, that would give me a lot of encouragement, and I don't even know that they knew it. One was a guy named Stunning Steve Austin.
Stunning Steve Austin, I remember him.
But he would pull me aside on a regular basis.
Stunning he never came to WWE, I don't think.
Hey, when you're out there, try this, try that. He was one of the few guys in an environment that was really rough at the time that was actually giving and didn't need to be. And another guy I'm looking at directly right here is Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. Mick Foley, easily the best dressed of the night.
Jack would pull me aside in the hallway and give me little tidbits of advice and things to do and things to look forward to. And his kindness always was a wonderful thing, and it meant a lot to me. And later, and I'll talk about it later, but
You'll talk about it later. Triple H.
I hope you know how much you mean.
How long are you going to go here for? I'll talk about it later.
Terry Taylor, who unfortunately earlier today had a little bit of a medical incident, so he's not here tonight. I wish he was.
Oh.
And he is here. Jesus, can't stop you.
Terry Taylor had a medical thing and he's here?
Wow. Look,
Terry Taylor
Camera gonna find him? There he is.
was a guy that I worked with once. He looked at me and said, "How long you been working?" And I gave him the standard lie that everybody put on their stuff at the time, 5 years. And he was like, "How long you really been working?" And I said, "I don't know, like a year and a half or something." I got to WCW pretty quickly. And he said, "Man, you fooled me." He said, "Well, look, WCW has a place called the Power Plant. I know you don't have to go, you're a contract guy, but I go there every day to train. If you want me to take you the rest of the way and you want to learn, I'll be there." I went to the Power Plant every single day to work out with Terry Taylor and Steve Regal.
Power plant.
Terry would take me into his home. His wife was a hell of a cook, but he would bring me around his wife and he would bring me around his kids. He made me part of his family when I didn't have one, and I was very close to my family. So being by myself in Atlanta, Terry
Triple H is just getting started. We're still in WCW. It is 3:30 in the morning on the East Coast. It's pure insanity. It's madness.
sitting a couple of rows in front of him. We would ride up and down the road together. We were about to become the Blue Bloods when I left to come here. Sherry Martel was going to be with us. But as big of a moment as that maybe was going to be for him, we had been told all these big plans, and it was great. He would come to me every day and honestly say, "Get out of here. Pack up and leave and go to WWE, and let Vince make you a big star. Get out." To this day, he is one of my best friends. He says it a lot to me. He says it all the time. But I would for him as well. I'll take a bullet for you.
It's approaching 4 a.m. on the East Coast.
I leave there and I come here. I don't know anyone. But one day, as I have tried to ride with a lot of people and realize these guys are not where I want to be. A lot of guys in that time just wanted to get in the car, not talk about this business, just get to the next town, do your thing, go work out, whatever it is, and not think about work. That's all I wanted to think about. So after realizing a lot of these people to travel with aren't for me, I was in Boston at the airport getting a rental car, and I was just going to drive by myself to Portland, Maine, and this white sketchy van pulls up outside the window and starts honking the horn, and I think like some crazy person out there honking at me, and finally I see Kevin Nash's head in the window, and he's waving at me. So I'm like, here's Kevin Nash, like I'm in line, like I'm finally getting to the front. I've been in this line forever. This isn't order by phone days. You can ask your parents, they'll tell you.
Ryan is endurance tested. That's what it feels like.
I walk out, he goes, "Who you riding with?" I said, "I'm just going to ride by myself. I'm going to drive up to Portland." He goes, "Jump in with us." He was by himself. I said, "Who's us?" He said, "Kid, Kid, Sean, and Scott. I'm picking them up in a minute." I was like, "You got a lot of people, man. No worries. I'm good." And he said, "No, just get in here, would you?" So I went back in, got my bags, threw them in the car. And all we did was talk about business the entire way, and I loved it. Scott Hall would every night say, Scott Hall every night would say to us in those cars and in those vans, "Could we just not talk about business tonight? Can we just drive and just not talk business for one night, please?" But before we do that, in your match tonight, and he would start to go into business, and that's all we would talk about. But when Sean says, "How did I, the guy that didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do drugs, didn't do any of that stuff, how did I end up with them?"
I love that Logan Paul's being forced to sit through this.
Portland, and we work. Kid's already laughing because he knows this story mostly buries him. We leave Portland, and at that
that time, not a lot of places to go late at night to eat, so we pull into a Denny's. It's packed. It's all college kids, and we're fairly recognizable at that point in time. Kev, I'm driving, so Kev's mildly in the bag.
Mildly.
Scott Hall is very in the bag. Sean is pretty in the bag, and I'm hoping isn't going to get worse. He's sitting next to me. On the other side is Kid, who's perfectly fine. Kid has a habit of ordering like 5 drinks at one time. So he orders like, can I get a coffee, an iced tea, soda water, a lemonade, and a strawberry shake, please? Like he's like the drink master. He's totally fine. I start to talk to Sean, who I'm thinking, oh man, he is getting a little bit worse. And I go to turn to Kid, and Kid is face down in his strawberry shake.
Oh, no.
At this point in time, Scott Hall is in a massive argument with the waitress.
This is some hillbilly Jim level, I know.
Put a booger in his eggs. And he's adamant that this is, like he has seen this, and he wants the manager, and she's not having it, and now the manager comes, and he's yelling at this manager about bring the cook out here. I saw him from over here put the booger in the eggs. Kev is just kind of looking at him, and I can't tell how bad off he is, but I realize Kid is not getting out of this shake, and I got to get him out of here. So I look at Sean, and I say, hey, we should probably go, because Scott is in a position where they're threatening to call the cops.
Totally. Totally. This is a Iron Man match for so many people. I'm getting antsy here. I'm still hungry. I still have to eat some food here. And I have a couple things to do to get ready for tomorrow. And Triple H is just going longer than Michelle here.
It's getting worse by the second. We get outside, and now
Oh, my phone is dead.
And I'm starting to get really scared. And now out comes Kevin and Scott and the manager and the waitress, and a bunch of kids are following them, and they're calling the police. And I'm like, this is day 1, by the way, of traveling with them. I now put Kid up against the van, and Sean says, is he breathing? And I feel for his pulse, and it's there, but it's there. And I panic, and I start slapping, because I think that's how I'm going to wake him up. Sean starts to yell at me, what are you doing? You're kicking his ass. Stop beating him up. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, he's dying. I got to try to wake him up, and now here comes Scott. What are you doing?
We're telling this at the Hall of Fame.
They're calling the cops. We can hear this going on. There's all these kids. Throw him in the van. Everybody else gets in the van.
Mike, Tito's over my shoulder here on the floor sleeping.
Drive him straight to the emergency
He's just out of frame, right under Brett's shoulder.
for hours until he begins to come out of this. And Kev leans forward and tells him just deny service and they'll let us go. And that's what he does. And we drive back to the hotel. My nerves fried. We get in there and I look at the clock and we have 1 hour before we have to be up and drive to the next town. And we get up, get in the van. It was daytime now. The sun had come up. So now Kev was going to drive because that's how it worked. Big Kev in the afternoons, me at nighttime. We would establish this relationship over time. Kid would now come downstairs 15 minutes later than everybody else, like usual, get in the van and say, hey, thank you guys for saving my life last night. Let's go. And for
Let's
some
go.
reason, I loved it and thought, I'm going to ride with these guys all the time. For the life of me, I have no idea why, but thank you guys. When you talk about, as Sean mentioned, a brotherhood that lasts, ride or die. And I think about Scott every day. Everybody had their strengths in that car. Kev saw the business like a movie, completely like a movie. Thought big, giant, cinematic picture things and all this stuff. Kid was a measuring stick. if you could work with him, if you couldn't work with him, you were out. At some point, they would put everybody in the ring with him and see how well they did. If they rocked it with him, they were in. If they didn't, you were done. You couldn't go, and you got moved to the side. He was the measuring stick. Sean could put it all together like nobody else. You know, just got it all, was a Pat disciple, you know, could do all that.
A Pat disciple.
But Scott had a way of simplifying everything, that he would just say something to you so simplistic that it would change your view of the business. Like, he would say it and you'd be like, yeah, we do that all the time. That absolutely makes no sense. You're correct. And you would just move on. He had this simplicity about him to the point where it was genius. And I learned, he's so underrated. I learned so much from Scott Hall. I don't even know how to say it. He also had a unique personality. One time on Raw, we had worked on the night before, me ducking the discus punch, and he would catch me with the left. We decided to do it on TV, and he would proceed to knock me out cold on Monday Night Raw. I don't remember the end of the match. I was working with Scott. Kid ran out. I don't remember any of that. Next thing I remember was Kevin Nash picking me up and putting me in a folding chair, and Scott getting right in my face and saying, "You got a glass jaw, put," and walking off. He's one of a kind, and I miss him every day. The amount of people that I had here, I was so lucky when I came in to work with, you know, from just a who's who of the greats of this business. Every single night you got to work with somebody like Brett or Steve or Sean or Kid or Kev or Scott or
Taker.
Or Nick, or, you know, at various times, and this myself, and the Bushwhackers, and everybody that you could
The
learn from
Bushwhackers.
It really
He
was
mentioned the Bushwhackers, but didn't mention Taker. I love it.
all these styles and abilities that I loved it. I'd work with somebody different every night and just soak it up. Sean and I would eventually form DX. At that point in time, we would meet Joni Lauer, China.
China. Here we go. Finally. He brought her up.
She was in a hotel lobby with Jack Lanza trying to get a job, and Jack just wanted to go to bed, so he would pawn her off on me and Sean as we were walking in. And the second we met her, I was like, man, there's my heater. They had been trying to put a heater with me for a while, and she was it. Unfortunately, everybody else didn't buy that. It took us quite a while to convince everybody to do it. But once she came in, DX was a unique group. We were kind of off the reservation a little bit, as many of you know. She was the anchor. She was the grounding point. She was the foundation. She sort of was the mother of a group, not only of me and Sean, but later of Dog and Billy and Kid and me. We probably would have imploded at some point if it wasn't for her. She would keep us grounded and really was the glue. And
I'm glad that she's getting her due for that.
business.
Look at X-Pac in that picture.
The women that we have now are incredible, and a lot of that springs out of her ability to do what she did and inspire generations. I'll be forever thankful to her for that. Damn straight.
I'm glad that he mentioned China. That means a lot.
Dog, Billy, Kid, that second version of DX was probably the most fun I've ever had in this business. Brian James, I would ride with you and laugh so hard for 6 to 8 days straight. My abs would be killing me by the time we go home. I think, like, what happened to
Nice.
you? It was just 'cause
I'm
you
so glad that he mentioned China.
the entire trip. Either that or it was a contact eye. I'm not sure which one. But that DX run was one of the best parts of my career, and I love it. Thank you.
I'm really glad that he mentioned China.
I mentioned him earlier. I'm going to try to buzz through this because it's getting late, but I don't, you know, when you do this, you just don't want to miss people. And I know I will. But I mentioned Steve Austin earlier. Steve would become like a mentor to me, whether he knew it or not.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm going to take the Triple H China mention is my cue to end this stream because I still have some things to do to get ready for tomorrow. And Triple H might talk until 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys so much for staying up. Sorry for being a nerd. It's not because I'm tired. It's because I still have a lot to do. So I'm going to kind of call Triple H's speech here. I'll catch the rest of it while I'm unpacking. And we will be back tomorrow. Make sure you're here tomorrow night. We're going to start about 10 minutes before the main card starts. We'll be watching along all night long. We'll stick around for a review, and it's going to be a hoot. I'm very, very, very excited. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Sorry I'm cutting it short, but I got shit to do, man. You guys have a good night. I will see you tomorrow for WrestleMania. Peace.
Thank you.